A lot of good and bad news, mostly bad, but a lot of news. Let's just say we're gonna break down here on the Fantasy Football Show. We got Bucky Irving, not a long-term injury. That's probably the good news. It's not a bad Liz Frank injury. It is a foot injury. It is a foot sprain, but it is being deemed as not a long-term injury. So we're very optimistic it will be a 1 to 2 week injury, a 1 to 2 week absence. He's on crutches. Sounds bad, but when you have an injury like this, the first thing you want to do is get in a boot. Some players have played in walking or played the week that they wore the walking boot. So sometimes the walking boot's just an immediate, let's get some pressure off this injury, give it as much time as possible. I'm not saying he plays week 5. He is most certainly going to be out week 5. But Bucky Irving might not be out more than 1 to 2 weeks. So there's the good news. Even though he's on crutches, it's not a bad Liz Frank injury or anything like that. So that's the Bucky news. We've got Trey Benson out 4 to 6 weeks. Not good news, horrible news. And as we reported earlier, it's crazy that we get left in the dark on this stuff. An undisclosed injury, more information to come. Oh, by the way, he had surgery and he's out 4 to 6 weeks. That was dirty. I think the NFL news world needs to be alerted more quickly to this stuff because there is a lot of impact in Vegas, in the fantasy gaming community, and the NFL owes that community better. And it's wild to me that they get away with this stuff. But more to come on that. We'll break down everything you see on screen. Lamar, CeeDee, Deebo Samuel. Who are you picking up in Arizona? DeMarcado? Is it Carter? Is it who? Who are you grabbing? We'll talk about that. We'll talk about Bucky. Who do you own? Sean Tucker or Rachaad White or both? Or is this an easy Rachaad White situation? The Fantasy Football Show, breaking news edition. Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, a little early because we got a lot to get to. Edition begins right now.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios. It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
So, Bucky Irving, as I mentioned, not a long-term injury. This means it's not a Liz Frank injury or some sort of deep, foot injury that's going to cause him to potentially be hampered all year. They're trying to get ahead of this thing. They're trying to make sure, he's on crutches, he's in a walking boot immediately to alleviate any sort of potential pressure and stress they could put on the ligaments involved. But it's not a long-term injury. That is good news. This is a 1 to 2 week likely injury. Could it be longer? It's possible, but to me, based on what I'm gathering and what I feel, it's going to be a 1 to 2 week injury for a Bucky. Now, who do you want? Rachaad White. Of course, we got the waiver board you can look at. Rachaad White, Sean Tucker. The reason these guys aren't ahead of, we'll have to take Benson off here now. And Judkins no longer needs to be on here. These were just mentions just to make sure people, weren't leaving somebody on the waiver wire. But Gainwell, Rachaad White, Tootin, Sean Tucker, Gordon Knight, DeMarcado, Carter. If I had to rank these, I would say DeMarcado is probably going to get the first crack. I mean, he was playing pretty well last week when called upon. He's been hit and miss different games that he's been called upon. But DeMarcado is certainly going to get the first shot at this job. Carter and Knight, that's debatable. And I know that everyone's going to have their opinion. Honestly, no offense to anybody in the chat, but anybody giving you a hardcore stance on something like, it's DeMarcado, oh, it's Knight. Those are the people that have those players. Like somebody that just picked up Carter because DeMarcado wasn't available. They're saying it's going to be Carter. The person that has DeMarcado is saying DeMarcado season. The people that couldn't get any of them are really negative in the chat, saying none of these guys will be good because they didn't get any. So understand what you're reading. No offense, but that's the way people are. People are going to support the player they have. But as far as, let me put the Bucky stuff aside here. And real quickly, before we close out on the Bucky, again, in a walking boot, using crutches, sounds horrible. When this first broke, everybody was in full panic mode. But again, some of that is truly just, making sure everything is healing as quickly as possible. It's not that he requires crutches to get around. It's not that he requires a walking boot to get around. It's not like this guy needs one of those knee scooters and to get around. It's literally a preventative measure, a maintenance measure, a rehab measure to get in a boot and get on crutches, make sure you got all of the weight off it for as long as possible, and then you jump straight into it, the healing process. Trey Benson, 4 to 6 weeks, going on IR. There is a chance he's out longer. This is something with the arthroscopic surgery on the meniscus. Meniscus is a very, very touchy thing. Meniscus injuries can oftentimes be worse than ACL tears for the long-term longevity of the knee. What I mean by that is, maybe a 4 to 6 week injury doesn't seem worse than an ACL. A casual might be like, what did he just say? An ACL is totally longer. You're out for a year. You're not listening to what I'm saying. A clean ACL tear, if the ACL fairy went in at night and plucked it out, and then they did a surgery and put it back, you'd be far better off long-term on the knee. You could come back 100%. You might not have any arthritis or any sort of knee degeneration or anything like that. But with meniscus, it is bad for the longevity of the knee. It's like taking a brake pad and slicing a corner off of one of the brake pads on the right side of the vehicle. Yeah, initially you'll be able to drive. You'll be fine for a while. But the vehicle being not aligned and driving differently for miles and miles and hundreds of miles and thousands of miles, then eventually the vehicle has alignment issues and there are all kinds of problems. So I feel like it's going to be one of those situations where this guy might not stay healthy. And it sucks to hear. I'm not saying I don't like him in Dynasty. I'm not saying I don't like him if he ever returned to the field this year. But it's hard for me to bet on a player that is having a meniscus surgery that already felt like, I don't want to say injury prone, but tough to stay healthy for him in an offense where they don't really, we're not sure what they're going to do, how they're going to use their players. It's just one of those players that it's tough to buy into. So Trey Benson right now kind of on hold in terms of the long-term aspects and predictions. This news right here, just want to say, real quickly before we get to that. So as far as what running back you need to be going after or believing in or expecting to do well if you have Carter or Knight, DeMarcado. There's no question DeMarcado is getting first crack. Will he fail? Will they give maybe Carter or Knight opportunities and then they shine and then they roll with a hot hand? Absolutely. But if you think DeMarcado is not getting a nice shot at this, then you're just interested in the investment that you have. You picked up Carter, you couldn't get DeMarcado. What I can promise you is if you drop DeMarcado and the person that's saying it's not DeMarcado, he's bad, he's not good, I promise you that if you drop DeMarcado in front of that player, that fantasy owner would scoop up DeMarcado in a second and go, well, just in case. So it's DeMarcado. Now, is DeMarcado a fantastic player? No. But is he a viable option? Is he a flex option right now? Sure. Could he produce 80 yards and an occasional touchdown every third game? Every, 2.2 games, score a touchdown? Yeah, he could. So he's a great player to grab. This is a injury-riddled season. Ron Navy said, do you think there are more injuries this year than last year or previous years? And my answer was not yet, but after today, with all the other things that piled up, I think maybe so. Because we're only 4 weeks played. We have a whole lot of other injuries to accumulate. And so by the end of the season, yes, this might be one of the more injury-riddled seasons we've had in a while. So Ron's probably spot on that at the end, once we get to the end of the season, no doubt about it. But as of right now, DeMarcado is the guy. As far as this piece of news, just to sprinkle in some good news, because there's been a lot of negative news so far. I mean, the Bucky Irving not being a long-term injury is good news, but this right here, Amaran Hampton had 128 rushing yards in week number 4, most by a Bolts rookie since Danian Tomlinson in 2001. He had 294 yards and 2 TDs in his last 2 weeks, flashing his speed, his vision, his toughness, made him a first-round pick jump on the wagon. Yeah, you jump on the wagon, Jordan Schultz. Jordan Schultz saying jump on the wagon. We've been conducting the wagon. We've been conducting the wagon. You get on the wagon, pal.
Associates. Locations on Earth and Jupiter.
There's no room for you on the wagon. Get on the wagon. A lot of these people act like they've been calling these shots all. I've been calling this shot for a couple weeks now. We've been calling it since the beginning.
Jam. Call HHH and Associates.
Triple H and Associates. Locations on Earth and Jupiter.
Triple H and Associates is back, baby. Back doing work. CeeDee Lamb. Guys, I did a video on going and acquiring CeeDee Lamb before week 5. Reason being is every week you get closer to this kid getting back, the more likely of a chance you're not going to be able to get him even at a discount. So that's why it's important to strike now. I see your $20 haulers. I will be right there. So don't worry, just hang tight. CeeDee Lamb ankle did not practice Wednesday. No crap, right? Yeah, you know that. We all know that. It's obvious. Captain Obvious report. But the key to this report is that we literally have weekly and daily updates on CeeDee Lamb. That is an important aspect of this thing. The fact that we're not being told, oh, we're not going to discuss CeeDee Lamb until 2 or 3 weeks from now when he might be coming back. We're hearing daily updates. Like, he's not practicing today. And everyone's like, yeah, no crap. This is good news. This is a team that did not elect to put him on IR, meaning they didn't expect him to miss 4 games. The Cowboys are a team that elected not to even rule him out for 3 or 4 games. It might be 2, this would be the second game he would miss. I think there's a real shot that Lamb comes back 1 game early, maybe sooner than that, maybe after 2 games missed. Don't buy him at that price. Don't expect that. Don't make any dumb, irrational decisions to go put yourself in a position where if he doesn't come back early, you're screwed. And you say, Smitty, you said he'd be back early. He's missing the full 3-4 weeks. What's your problem? I'm not telling you to go acquire him at that cost. I'm saying you might have a built-in, baked-in, absolutely baked-in amount of value here that this kid could potentially bring you if you acquire him at his current asking prices if he's missing 2 to 3 more games. He's expected to miss 3 to 4 games. If it was expected to be 4, all 4 games that he was supposed to miss, they would have put him on IR. The fact that they didn't put him on IR means that they believe there's a chance he could come back for the 4th game or the 3rd game, but specifically the 4th game, and that's why he didn't go on IR. Now, teams have misjudged it before and said, oh, let's not put him on IR, and then it ends up that the player misses 4 games, and then they could have put him on IR. But there's a lot of guesswork involved early on when you're 3, 4, 5 weeks out of an injury. CeeDee Lamb, once he returns in 2, maybe 1, maybe 3 weeks, but probably 1 to 2 weeks, will be what CeeDee Lamb's always been. Dak Prescott looks on point. Pickens is versed and ready to go in the offense. It's a blessing in disguise that CeeDee Lamb's out right now in terms of the development and rapport of Pickens and Dak. But don't think that the rapport of Pickens and Dak is going to hamper CeeDee Lamb. It's only going to help Lamb when he comes back, because now that Dak has this weapon, this established weapon that's going to do good work in week number 5, going to do potentially, if Lamb does miss another game, good work the next game. And then the defenses are going to respect this and not necessarily double Lamb. And it's going to be okay, we got to cover both these guys. Whereas if Pickens was struggling, it didn't have the opportunity to build said rapport with Dak Prescott right now in isolation without CeeDee Lamb's presence, then maybe defenses would be like, well, we don't care. And Lamb would be in his head. Lamb would be upset. Lamb would be a diva. I'm sorry, Pickens. Pickens would be upset. Pickens would be a diva. Pickens would be like, I'm not getting the ball. This is all potentially a blessing in disguise. Once Lamb comes back, it's Lamb time. Lamb's going to Lamb base everybody around him. And those that acquire him in crafty fashion now will be making a very, very smart move for their fantasy football glory. Now, this man is also always considered kind of day-to-day, which gives you optimistic hopes that maybe he's not going to be out as long as people are fearing. But there is a real strong chance this is a severe injury, this hamstring injury, that wouldn't even allow him to go back into the game when it was kind of a crucial part of the game still. and he missed the fourth quarter, essentially. Lamar might miss 1, 2, 3 more games. It's hard to say. He could come back in 3 games, in 2 games. We don't really know. All we know is that if he is out, they're most certainly going to lean on the run. And that makes Derrick Henry one of the more fantastic buy low players in fantasy right now. No, not because your boy Smitty should have drafted him higher or suggested you draft him higher. No, the preseason and offseason advice was spot on. Drafting Derrick Henry would have been a grave mistake at his high cost of entry. But now, when people that drafted him high are in panic mode, and the Panic Peter's looking for somebody, let me get on the ringer here. Let me get on the ringer and hey, Steve, are you interested in Derrick Henry? Yeah, you got DeMarcado? Okay, let's do a deal. Or okay, no, in realistic sense, maybe Woody Marks, maybe Scattaboo, maybe QJ, maybe Keenan Allen and Scat, maybe something along those lines can still get you a move. Okay? Yeah, let's talk about it later over lunch. This is something that Henry's cheaper than he ever should be. There's no risk level here. The people that have Henry have had 2 horrible weeks with Derrick Henry. People that have Derrick Henry have had no success yet with Derrick Henry. 3 weeks. And so they're either 1-3 or 0-4, maybe 2-2 if they're lucky. And so guess what? They are in let's make a deal mode. Those that have Derrick Henry didn't get what they paid for, therefore they're probably not winning. They're vulnerable to a trade they should not make that they will make with you if you go get Derrick Henry at the discounted price, which costs you nothing and it's all upside. The stock is on the rise in the sense that from the angle you're looking at, this is one of the better moves you could make, period, on your team, is to get a potential player that is going to be focused on while Lamar's out. Try and fix this problem and wait for this problem to heal itself. And then once this problem becomes healed and whole, then this problem is back on track and everything is moving as a well-oiled machine. With Lamar out, they will feed this man 20 carries. Derrick Henry has not gotten the carries. It's not necessarily a Derrick Henry problem. It is an offense problem. It is a prescription that can be written right now for, let's call it, on this script, we're going to go ahead and give Derrick Henry 22 carries times every week. That should do it. That right there will be your remedy.
You've just been Smitty approved.
I just wrote the script that solves the Derrick Henry problem. Carries. Give him carries. Guess what? Lamar's out. He's going to get him. Buy him now. You've been warned. Buy him now because he's free. The owner that has him's freaking out. And the owner that has him might not be as astute as you, that doesn't watch this channel, that might be saying to themselves, no, Lamar, Derrick Henry's struggling. The combination's awful. The sky's falling. I don't want anything to do with Derrick Henry now that he doesn't have a quarterback that can't even move the ball. That is also an angle to look at and to understand and be concerned about on some levels. But at the end of the day, the more astute person's going to say they only have one option. They got to run Derrick Henry now. And so Derrick Henry gets the volume he needs moving forward. So you can either, as Bird says, yeah, I'll pass on Derrick Henry. Bird, you can pass on him all you want. Because I don't think you're looking at it from the right angle. Pass on Derrick Henry for what, Bird? For his draft value? No one's paying his draft value. Bird, you can walk in and get him for a QJ and a running back like Scat or whoever, Mason and QJ, Mason alone, Woody Marks. I had 3 people, 2 or 3 people over the last, 3 people over the last day, 2 people over the last 12 hours ask me questions like one for one. I'm being offered Derrick Henry for my QJ. I'm being offered Derrick Henry for my Sutton. I'm being offered Derrick Henry for my scat, and it was a receiver right around Keenan Allen. I forget the name that was in that particular trade. These are crazy deals. And you're going to say, I'll pass? Okay. Pass on a general conversation, Bird, about what you should pay for Derrick Henry. Go ahead, Bird. Pass on it. Pass on an opportunity to get a running back one for practically free cost of entry. That's fine. Bird, I'm not going to twist your arm. We need so many birds in order to get this deal to continue to happen. No offense, Bird. Okay, so if we look at this Lamar situation, and you own him, you got to hold him unless somebody's willing to pay the value of him coming back really, really soon and not worry so much. Like a 4-0 team that doesn't have a great quarterback that's been making it work, they might say, you know what, I don't care. I'll pay the full price. Give me Lamar. I'll take him at a slight discount, but give me Lamar. That's the only way you can trade him. Now, if you have Lamar Jackson, if you don't have Lamar Jackson, then you go get him. And if you're 4-0 or 3-1 and you have a mediocre quarterback situation, it's a cheap cost of entry right now and a low risk proposition for a team that's 4-0 that obviously has a lot of depth. You're 4-0 or 3-1, you've got depth. You've been making it work. You've been doing it live. So you can go ahead and get Lamar pretty cheaply. I would recommend that. Niners are in shambles. The fact that Christian McCaffrey is still standing is astonishing to me. And if you think he's going to stay healthy in this turmoil of a situation, I've got 5 invisible bridges to sell you. Brock Purdy ruled out for week 5. Brock Purdy ruled out for week 5. Ricky Pearsall will not play week 5. And Jawan Jennings also out for week 5. Trent Williams staying healthy on the year is going to be a real tall order. And Christian McCaffrey staying healthy on volume that we haven't seen since the 1990s for a running back. And he's got chronic bilateral Achilles tendonitis. Let's sell CMC right now. Let's sell CMC. No one's saying sell him for a bag of chips. I'm telling you. And if you come to me and say, Smitty, I did it. I got rid of him. And you tell me 2 garbage players, I'm going to tell you to take a lap so long you won't ever be back watching this show until the offseason.
Take a big lap.
Do you understand what I'm saying? What I'm saying is you sell him for 2 pots of gold. That's it. If not, you wait 1 more week. You hope to God he doesn't get hurt during that wait. But you need 2 pots of gold in order to make this happen. That means Ashton Genty, and that means JSN. That means Ashton Genty, and that also could be London. Or maybe it's instead of Genty, maybe this is a Judkins who didn't quite have the game that Hampton had, but he has the ability that Hampton has to be the fantasy asset that Hampton is. And so this is maybe the most sneaky running back that gets you a little bit more bang for your buck on the second piece of this. And you go get a wide receiver like JSN or potentially Nico or potentially whatever. This is what you're talking about. This is the trade to make. You're not making, you're making a London and Judkins trade. You're not making a Judkins and Keenan Allen trade. Do you understand what I'm saying? If you come to me and say, Smitty, what about Keenan Allen and Judkins?
Take a big lap.
If you come to me and say, Smitty, what about Chuba Hubbard and MHJ?
Take a big lap. We don't need.
So understand what I'm saying. Please only trade, right? You hold if you can't get it. But you need to go do something like this and do it now before it's too late. Because Christian McCaffrey has chronic. Let me repeat this for the casuals in here that don't know the medical. Chronic bilateral Achilles tendonitis. Chronic means this isn't your Osgood Slaughter or your. I had tendonitis in high school, and people come in here and say that I had tendonitis in high school, and I ended up I was okay. I ended up being okay. This is him getting mileage that no running back really has ever had in the history of the NFL. And then the wearing down of the Achilles tendon, which has essentially in the back of your, if you reach down above your heel below your calf, you'll feel that like cord, like tendon, and it's got so many strands that are wrapped around like an army rope, and they start to break and fray. And you go over and you get injections, and everybody says, "Oh my God, he went ahead and got it healed by the stem cell therapies and different things over in Germany, Smitty. They healed it. They injected it, and the tendons started finding those frayed pieces, and they connected, and it's good. He's good. It's all fixed. He's 100%. Can I tell you something? McCaffrey has more than the average risk of getting injured, because here's what a casual will tell you. A casual will say, oh, CMC, everybody's just as likely to get injured, Smitty. Everybody's got a chance of getting injured. That freak injury, everybody has that. Yes, that is one avenue for Christian McCaffrey to get hurt. Then you have the age and the mileage that he's accumulated, which is bigger than really any running back in the league. His percentage, he's the higher percentage of his offense than probably, I don't have it measured, but I'm probably guessing it's top 5 in the history of the NFL in terms of being the highest percentage of volume of his team. Might even be number one. He's been that number one for years before, isolated in different seasons. So I'm sure it's 1 to 5 in terms of being the highest percentage of his team's offense. And the man has played for a decade, okay, practically. Then you have, on top of that, the Achilles tendon situation. So you have 3 different injury entry points here for Christian McCaffrey to get injured. The natural wear and tear and breakdown of his body at his age, the Achilles, bilateral chronic Achilles tendonitis, which I'm telling you is still in existence, and then you have an additional one, actually, which would just be a flare-up. So it's coming off of this, but this is the A part of this. This is the B part of this component. It's a flare-up. Not only could he tear his Achilles tendon and have injury to his Achilles tendon, but these random flare-ups at any moment could occur, and then he's out. It's wild to me. The only people in the chat right now, and I know I see them right now. I know Smitty talking when Bucky's in a boot and crutches. Bro, I've already addressed that. Where some of you, I don't know where you're at. I don't know where you've been all day. I don't know what it is you think you're talking about. Okay, anyway, Christian McCaffrey, sell him now, sell him now, sell him now. Anybody that thinks he's staying healthy, I got 3 invisible bridges to sell you. Hit me up after the show, and we'll make it happen. Ricky Parasol, Brock Purdy, this team is a mess. Anybody that's defending Christian McCaffrey is going to be fine. They fixed his Achilles tendons overseas. It's very evident they own Christian McCaffrey. It's very easy to see. Bucky in a boot, my boy. What's that even mean? I don't understand. Bucky in a boot, my boy. Do some of you think you're breaking that in here or something? I don't understand what you're saying. Nico Collins, knee limited in Wednesday's practice. Not expected to be an issue. Dallas Goedert did not practice Wednesday. This is what we talked about, Dallas Goedert. Oscar knows what time it is. It's the CMC might be the all-time sell high. There might not be a better sell high in the history of fantasy sports. I think Oscar's onto something here. It truly might be the most regrettable not sell high moment in sports, in fantasy sports history. In fantasy sports history. Dallas Goedert, we talked about this all week, that he could play really good, and then he pops up on the injury report out of nowhere, and then all of a sudden he's ruled out or something. He's not ruled out yet, but he did not practice Wednesday, so we'll have to monitor the hell out of that situation. Martin spreading lies in the chat. Smitty hates CMC the same way Mason hates Achane and Henry. Or you have so many shares, Martin, of CMC, you can't see straight. I think that's more probably what's going on. You jumped my super chat. More inaccurate information in the chat tonight. I haven't jumped it. I haven't even got the super chats yet, Fernando. So relax, pal. Kick your feet up. We'll get to them, bro. Man, some people are just not here today. Deebo Samuel, heel, did not participate in Wednesday's practice. We'll have to monitor this, but I'm not ultra concerned. Remember, JD5 is back. JD5 was a full participant, ready to go. I feel bad for my mods tonight. They got their hands full, about 4 or 5 of you. But mods, I give you full permission. Any troublemakers, put them in a 10-minute timeout to give yourself a little breathing room from them. Colts struggling. QB Anthony Richardson open to joining the Rams as a developmental player. What an interesting concept, man, to put this guy in McVay's hands. I don't know if he can stay healthy, but that would be an interesting thing. This Tua Tyreek situation, you know, not many people, but some people have said, Smitty, it's really callous of you to post that picture of Tyreek Hill on your Instagram and title it the way you titled it. But look, it is what it is. Tyreek Hill looks like the most excited ACL tear we've ever seen in history. This is what it says. Happiest ACL tear and knee dislocation ever recorded, ever documented. The man is clapping as they're driving him away. You could say everybody deals with trauma and adrenaline and stress differently, but he's clapping like this after he tears his knee, and then he goes, yes, and then he starts blowing people kisses and everything, and you're like, okay, he's just handling it weird, poor guy. But then you go to all these Tua press conferences and the way the team's speaking about him, and I know a lot of people are saying prayers up. Who wouldn't say that? It's a natural thing to say. Even when I say it, it's like prayers up to Tyreek. Everyone's got to say it. You're required to. It's the culture we live in. It's the world. It's the human condition. But I'm a little more honest than the average bear. I'll tell you what's on my mind. I'll still throw a prayer up for Tyreek. No one wishes injury upon anybody. Not me, nobody. I don't want CMC to get hurt. I hope I'm wrong about CMC. I'm not going to be, but I hope I'm wrong about CMC. I don't wish injury upon anybody. But I do notice things. I have good observation skills. And this man, Tua, doesn't really care about Tyreek Hill. And it's clear and obvious. And he says after the game, you know, thank God that we avoid, you know, for everybody that stayed healthy and that we avoided injury. While his star wide receivers carted off the field with a dislocated knee and a brutal injury. And he's talking about, you know, thankful, being grateful and thankful that they avoided injury. And then he says, obviously, when you win, that is one way, one of the best deodorants for what you could be going through. Deodorants is wild too, because deodorant is often used to say we're disguising a situation that just isn't good. And so it just constant stuff coming out of Miami. Miami's in shambles, and they think they aren't, which is wild, but it's going to get worse for them. Hopefully it doesn't too badly, because we want Achane to continue to feast. And maybe somehow, some way, this does end up opening a more consistent path for this team to do things. Who knows? Maybe Tyreek was such a problem in the locker room, and he was, that this maybe creates some peace and quiet, you know. But it's wild, man. Tyreek is definitely a head case, and there's definitely something going on upstairs. Obviously, a lot of people are, and me included, thinking that this is the Antonio Brown unraveling just at the earlier stages. Before Antonio Brown burned his feet off, what a wild statement, right? Before he burned his feet off in Oakland, he was kind of like, it was the baby version. It looked exactly like Tyreek Hill looks like right now. And it seems like that's what's happening with Tyreek. He's off his rocker half the time, and his whole team is not. They didn't want him there, and now he's not there. And I think it's partly why he's clapping and acting weird, because he doesn't know how to act. He doesn't know how to curb his feelings and emotions, and so they just come pouring out and spilling out. He's in a sense, you could say, not in the right space in his head, so it's like the things just flow right out. He says stuff without filtering, and his reactions of clapping and blowing kisses and saying yes is an unfiltered version of what's going on through his emotions and his body, and he speaks and shows them without filtering it. And so I think that there isn't just Smitty, he's clapping because he's just like, yeah, we'll be back, blowing kisses because he's saying thank you, and saying yes because he's trying to process the injury. No, I believe he's actually conveying a lot of the wild thoughts going on in his head because he no longer can filter them. He's going through what Antonio Brown went through, which is an inability to filter and be a normal human being from this point going forward. Kyler Murray was asked about the new training facility that opens in 2028. And he says, it's beautiful. I hope I'm here to see it. Which is crazy. What is going on here in Arizona? Kyler just opening his little mouth and spewing out anything he's thinking about. And I don't know that he'll be here either, to be honest, but that's wild to say as the quarterback of a team that you're still playing for. Braylon Allen, Aaron Glenn said this is a pretty serious knee injury. I would not expect Braylon Allen to be back this year. If he is, I don't even know that it would matter. Breece Hall stock goes up. Hopefully the team wins and is able to ensure that they put Breece Hall in the best positioning. But Breece Hall to the moon doesn't mean they won't use other backs, but Braylon Allen was really the only big threat to that situation. Jaden Daniels, medically cleared to return to practice. Actually, this is an old report. He returned to practice in full was the report after this. That I didn't clip that one, but I do have this one right here. Jaden Daniels officially a full participant, so I have both of them. In practice today and is on track to start against the Chargers on Sunday. But Terry McLaurin quad and Deebo Samuel heel and Noah Brown groin knee all did not practice. But it is thought that Terry McLaurin maybe just needs one more week off. He's not expected to play week 5, as I understand it, so expect that. But Deebo Samuel, most likely, unless there's a setback of some kind, is expected to play week number 5. So expect that. JD5 and Deebo are back at it doing their usual thing. Chuba Hubbard, Cav, not seen practicing Wednesday. This is becoming a little bit of a concern. I'm not trying to predict an Achilles tear here, ladies and gentlemen. But usually when players play with calf injuries, there's a heightened risk of Achilles tendon tears. And this goes not only for Christian McCaffrey having Achilles tendonitis chronic, but it also goes for Chuba Hubbard. It goes for anybody that has a calf strain and it is some decent mileage to boot. This is a really, really concerning thing. Sitting him is probably safer than playing him. I know Chuba Hubbard owners don't want to hear that. But if he plays on this calf injury, there's a heightened likelihood of a torn Achilles tendon. And all the injuries going on right now in the NFL, are we really risking it? Brashard Smith, Chiefs running back Brashard Smith, expected to have more involvement in the offense. We've been waiting for this. This is a midseason monster that we would love to see getting going. He's a great add for people that potentially need to add somebody to the, we'll put him here. We've got a kind of our bullpen and then the guys that are active from the midseason monster board. But Brashard Smith is certainly somebody that we wish could get more carries. We expected to be more heavily involved, especially once the suspension of Rice was announced to be the first 6 weeks of the season. We fully thought that Brashard Smith would step up because Andy Reid said several times when asked, hey, what do you think of Brashard Smith? We love him. How much work could he get? As much as he can handle from right out of the gate in week 1. Well, apparently, I guess he couldn't handle a lot earlier, even though we think he's ultra talented. So it seems like they want to get him the ball more. He becomes a great addition for those that may have lost Benson or Bucky this week, and you need to pick up somebody, and the rest of this gauntlet of players is gone. So definitely a good player to potentially pick up. Smith right here. I would say Smith is maybe will move DeMarcado up on this waiver board, and some of your waivers have processed obviously, but the board is still very useful in terms of the pecking order of how I see these guys, meaning that you don't need to say, Smitty, the waivers have already processed, why you keep showing us the board? Well, for those of you still combing through the waiver wire, you need to know the order and maybe where I rank a guy against the players that maybe already got picked up. It's a very useful tool to say, well, that's great to hear that Smith, who I'm going to move up right here, Smith is slotted that high because I didn't get the guys above him. And the fact that he is on Smitty's list slightly below those guys makes me feel good about getting Brashard Smith, etc. So very good player to add. Hard to say what his volume will be. We're just hoping he gets work. Isaiah Bond, according to Jeremy Fowler, the Browns are really excited about the wide receiver, and with Tillman on IR, he's going to get a big uptick. And the team's really excited about not only Isaiah Bond, but also Fannin Jr. and Quinshon Judkins, kind of the core group of the future. And we talked about Isaiah Bond. I told you Bond was better than Matthew Golden. I told you all offseason. And then Bond got in some trouble. It went away, and it ruined potentially the first part of his career. It ruined a lot of things for him. Draft day, didn't get drafted. Nobody signed him. It took until after his case was not getting pursued and essentially you could say thrown out in a sense. Once it was off the table and he was no longer pursued for these charges that everybody thinks were made up and everything. That's what a lot of people think anyway. Isaiah Bond all of a sudden got a shot. And he landed in kind of a good situation, kind of a bad situation. Bad because the quarterback situation's in turmoil. Good because the opportunity and pathway is not that difficult to take to get to the top. And the fact that we're hearing things from ESPN, from different parts of this organization, through ESPN, through other reports, obviously secondhand, that they're really excited about the three players, the core tripod of their offense. Isaiah Bond, maybe the future wide receiver. Harold Fannin Jr., a guy I believe is a top 5 potential tight end in the making. Doesn't matter if he has ups and downs as a rookie. Sometimes tight ends don't break out till their second year. So mark my words, he has that ability. And then Quinshon Judkins, it's a good core of an offense. And it should go a long way to hear that Isaiah Bond is being lumped in with these two, Judkins and Fannin. That means they're excited for him. There's probably going to be a lot of opportunity for him down the stretch. And he's a fantastic player to grab in Dynasty and, of course, in redraft if you're hurting at wide receiver. Cam Scatterbo knee is practicing in full for week 5. Expect him to be out there. This guy wouldn't miss. This guy, if he lost his knee, would still play. The most aggressive running back I've seen since Pacheco, which concerns me for injury. But Terry McLaurin could be another week away, as I mentioned. Week or two, but maybe he sits one more week. It probably is more likely that he sits 2 weeks, but there's a chance he returns after one more week of absence. Very happy is the term being thrown around for the Commanders running back by committee, which is just a disappointing situation. However, let me make one point abundantly clear that, ladies and gentlemen, every single year, every single season, handfuls of players become league winners and don't get used until week 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Bucky didn't get even remotely close to good work until week 10, and he didn't start until week 13, and he won leagues. Jahmyr Gibbs didn't get a single good stat line. I think he was a running back 20 and 30 and 40 and 60 until week 7. Then he started to become a top 3 running back from that point on. Chase Brown didn't do a single thing in weeks 1, 2, and 3 last year, and then was a top 5 to 10 running back and league winner from weeks 4 on. So don't think that he can't in week 10 become the lone starter, week 12. But right now, it doesn't seem in the cards that he will be trustworthy right now. Jaylen Warren, Dan Graziano reports the Steelers are fine if the backfield is led by Jaylen Warren when healthy and Kenneth Gainwell. I don't think that we would have a problem with that. I don't think anybody should have a problem with that. I think Gainwell proved he's probably the better running back. I still like Jaylen Warren. He's a dog, but he can't stay healthy. And Gainwell looked fantastic. Gainwell looked like an elite running back. Maybe a low-end elite running back, but an elite running back. And it was wild to see, and he looked fantastic. And I was not expecting it. No one was expecting to see him look as good as he did. Gainwell is a true dog. And if they give him the work, he'll play well. And he's a good, fantastic grab. That's why we got him on the waiver wire near the top. Will not play Juwan Jennings week 5. I reported that already. The Niners are just in shambles. It's crazy, bro. The quick turnaround game against the Rams, they're going to get blown away. A.J. Brown reports that some league executives don't expect the Eagles to trade Brown in season, but said it could be something to entertain in the offseason. Now, I said this yesterday, and then we'll get to Super Chats. $20 haulers and above get immediate attention. So hang tight. I'm gonna pull those up in just 1 second. Here's the problem with A.J. Brown, trading him in the middle of the season. We think it's probably logical, right? It is logical because he's a problem. He's a toxic player in the locker room now. It wasn't always the case, but sometimes these players, they change when they get money. They change when they get success. They change when they win a Super Bowl. They change for a lot of reasons. And this is one of those situations where A.J. Brown is 4-0 and he's complaining. And he's 4-0. They walk off the field on a win, and this selfish man is pouting like a baby. He tweets out and admits that the tweet didn't, it's relating to his feelings, but not directed at any one person. But he admits that he shouldn't have not talked to the media. He admits he shouldn't have sent the tweet. He admits he shouldn't have walked out and pouted like a baby coming off the field when they won their 4th game in a row. 4-0. They're 4-0. And this baby walks off the field and is upset, crying and complaining. And it's a problem. And this team doesn't throw the ball. It's one of the more bland offenses in the league. They find ways to win. I understand that the name of the game is to win the game. But I don't know that this team has any benefit in trading him because, A, whatever they acquire won't really improve the defense or anything that really they can utilize because they're not utilizing what they have on offense. They literally are, very strategically skating by in some respects because they're so well oiled everywhere except for the passing attack. And honestly, the rushing attack and the blocking hasn't been the best as of late. But even if they acquired something, would it actually help them this year? Probably not. They wouldn't even know how to use it. Because they do what they do it well, and they literally know how to win games, and they keep things low scoring, and then they push it into the end zone, and they figure out ways to just get by. New Age Outlaw dropping 20 gifted memberships. New Age, appreciate you. Everybody thank New Age for dropping the 20 gifted memberships. But I don't think trading A.J. Brown in the middle of the season is going to help them do anything, so they're not going to do it. He's not hampering anything because he can cry and complain and read books in the sideline. Doesn't change the outcome of the game. What he does is he keeps defenses honest because even though he's doing nothing, a defense is not going to go, well, let's just leave him open. Let's use single coverage all game long. He's a weapon that's sitting there, and the threat of the weapon alone keeps the defense backed up. And that's enough. That is worth more than anything the team can go get in season in terms of the outcome and objective of winning a Super Bowl. Therefore, A.J. Brown's probably not getting traded. Not during the season anyway. At least it wouldn't make sense. Nothing surprises me anymore. Anything can happen. But that's probably what we're looking at is this could be an off-season trade. And he's complaining and crying enough, they might say, you know what, we'll figure something out. We always do. But right now, this doesn't help us win a Super Bowl getting rid of him when he's a deterrent for defenses. So that's my take on that. All right, Super Chats galore. Let's get these on screen. Let me throw them all on here. Let me grab them in order in which they were received. Actually, let's go over to the high roller room. Thank you, Chris, for this super chat. Whatever this was earlier, where would you rank Slayton? I already did that one. Thank you. That was old. Alec, thank you for the super chat. Young man, I put you on screen right there. Racing Boy, thank you for the $20 hauler. I'll put you on screen right there. Top Gun, my boy, appreciate your $20 hauler. I'll put you right there, pal. I'm going to answer all these super chats now as quickly as I can. If anybody thinks I missed their super chat, I didn't. And if anybody says in the live chat, hey, Smitty, I think you missed my super chat, can you please let them know very respectfully you did not get your super chat missed? He's got a lot of them. He's going to get through them. So relax, pal. All right, there we go. And then Tatered Sandwich with the super chat as well. Tatered Sandwich, thank you for that super chat, young man. Tatered, you are on the screen as well. All right, let me handle these in order in which they came in. SOS scrambling after Benson news. Wire is barren. Can only make 4 adds rest of season. Don't know if I should go DeMarcado, Carter, or pivot to Brashard Smith for the long-term upside play. Need help. I'm going to say DeMarcado, but there's no good answer here, bro. This is not an easy choice, but I don't know if Brashard Smith will be leaned upon. I guess I would say, let's go to the chat. Chat, would you rather have Brashard Smith long-term if you maybe didn't need DeMarcado? Because it sounds like you're thinking long-term you could get by without DeMarcado. Or does DeMarcado have enough appeal that we take that side? So, chat, please vote Brashard Smith long-term or DeMarcado. Toxic, I'm going to say that it sounds like you can get by maybe without doing the DeMarcado maneuver because Benson could return, because there are other running backs involved, and because Brashard Smith probably is the best running back on the roster. Now, Alvin Kamara could get traded to the Chiefs. That's a rumor a lot of people are cranking out. I would almost say give me Smith because he has the most likelihood to turn it on and then keep the job. But he's certainly further away than DeMarcado right now. So, Toxic, if you can hold off, DeMarcado is probably not the move. If you need the production now and you can't even make it to the end game, then you probably got to take DeMarcado to help get you there. A guy wants to trade me Jamar Chase and Chase Brown for Mike Garrett Wilson and Woody Marks. I would take Jamar Chase and well, let's see here. Chad, are we taking Jamar Chase and Chase Brown or Garrett Wilson, Woody Marks? Here's the problem. One game from now, we might think Woody Marks is a top 12 to 15 running back. He is that good. Is the team good enough and smart enough to deploy him? I think they want to. We had this head coach come out and say, when asked, hey, what do you think about Woody Marks? And his answer wasn't, oh, we'll see what's going to happen. I like him. His answer was, I can't wait to put more on his plate and see what he can handle. So that means he's probably getting more work. It's such a turmoil situation, bro, in Cincinnati. And it's so easy to be like, hey, we got to go with the big names here, right? But I guess I would go Woody Marks and Garrett Wilson. I would try and get a little bit more, bro. Guy wants to trade me. Never mind. You got Woody Marks and Wilson. If you could get more, I'd maybe consider it, but I think I'm holding Woody Marks and Garrett Wilson. You almost could trade, let's say, Garrett Wilson for that package and then give up something smaller than Woody Marks and keep that. That would probably be my advice. There is a real chance that Woody Marks is a monster, bro. And there's a reason he was on the midseason monster list the entire offseason. So there's a chance that this thing could go very, very well for Woody. And you could get out at the wrong time just on the assumption that he can't be elite, right? He probably is an elite, right? That's what a lot of people are going to, I think, approach this, how they're going to approach this situation, because it's very easy to walk away from a scenario like this versus head toward it and say, I'm on board with Woody Marks before it's really proven. People are scared of that. I think the chat probably give you a good sense of that. I would try and, hold Woody Marks, send somebody else with Garrett Wilson to try and get that trade done potentially, or just stand down. 10-team league. I'm currently 3-1. My team is Bo Nix, Bucky, Kyron, Genty, Mason, Sharps, Gordon, Wilson, Debo, Evans, Worthy, and Warren. Question, should I drop Gordon for Gainwell or Penix Jr.? I would probably take Gainwell. You won't have him this week because of the bye week, but I think he's a good addition, especially if Bucky misses, let's say, 2 or 3 games. I think he's only going to miss 1 or 2. That's the current feel right now. But, yeah, Gainwell is a pretty good ad, bro. Racing Boy says, traded Benson before the injury and BTJ for Worthy and Chuba, and flip Chuba and Kincaid for Kraft and ETN. I think you did a fantastic job there. 10 out of 10 maneuvering, especially now that the injury's here. Like, you didn't know that, but it's still a remarkable move. Congrats, my boy. Was offered Amon-Ra for Genty and Marv. I would rather have, man, this is tough. I'd rather have Amon-Ra barely over Genty, just because he's guaranteed, to get a certain amount of volume, whereas Genty is probably guaranteed to get volume. But will there be games where the Raiders don't execute everything properly and Genty's getting hit behind the line of scrimmage over and over and he has a bad game? More often than than St. Brown. Yeah. But you add in Marv, it makes it tough. I'd probably say, chat, vote on this one too. Genty and Marv or Amon-Ra. I'd probably be very intrigued by the idea and prospect of trading Marv with something like Woody and Marv, or Scat and Marv, or T-Mac and Marv, or Sutton and Marv, or Pearsall and Marv, or whatever. And then getting something that would end up being like BTJ-like with Genty at the end of the day for this one player. But if you can't get that, then it becomes tougher, So, like, if you could guarantee me that there's a deal lined up, or you're very confident you could flip for something like that, then Genty and that player is a much better overall package than just Amon-Ra. But I think if you can't trade Marv high, then I'm probably saying Amon-Ra is safer. But either way, I like, if you took one side versus the other, you wouldn't be taking a lap on it. Pick up Sean Tucker or Carter for my expendable bench player that sit on my bench who has the potential upside for a longest, or who do you think has the most trade value in the? I would say Sean Tucker. Sean Tucker has, I wouldn't say league winning because I don't expect him to play long enough for that, but he has week winning potential if he gets on his horse and they use him. This guy is delivered whenever they've called upon him. I know that Rachaad White is positioned more to get work in most people's eyes, and that might be the case, but Sean Tucker will be sprinkled in, and if Sean Tucker gets on his horse, they're going to allow him to run. And so I would say Sean Tucker for sure. That would be my best guess as to how this plays out, that it's going to be a pretty 60-40 divide where you get Sean Tucker getting a lot of grunt work. You get Rachaad White getting a lot of the PPR and third down work with a mix of some of the first and second down work, which gives him a little more volume, 60%, let's say, to start out. But if Sean Tucker delivers, Sean Tucker is going to get fed more and more and more. Swavey says trade Jamar and Benson for Judkins, Ladd, and Tet. Benson's, I'm assuming this is redraft. You got to take Judkins, Ladd, and Tet. And Ladd or Tet, I'd rather have Ladd. So if you're talking about that's being a rotation, or I'd rather have Tet. I'm sorry, Tet. I'd rather have Tet right now. Ladd I want long term, and Ladd could get cut places. I'd take Ladd, but I'm sorry, I'd rather have Tet. Give me Tet and Judkins over Jamar and Benson, because Benson's out. If Benson were out, it'd be different, but Benson's out, and you don't know when he's returning. So this one here, Godwin or Flowers for this week, I'd say probably Godwin with no Lamar, but that's a tough one. Trade dynasty trade away Sampson to Judkins owner for Brashard Smith. I'm fine with that. Trade. It could go either way. Would you MHJ and Mercado for Rice? That's perfectly fine. I like that trade a lot. I love Rice. Acquiring Rice is one of the smartest moves in fantasy. Who is the lead backs, DeMarcado or Carter? As we just went over, Yossi, it's DeMarcado's. DeMarcado's getting the start. But could it change? Yeah, based on production. Sean Tucker or White, I just went over that as well. Sean Tucker for me over the long term, Rachaad White short term. So what's that mean? It means that I think, by default, Rachaad White will get more work. But who do I want cuffed longer term in like dynasty, let's say, or what I think is going to happen by week 10 or 12? I do think Sean Tucker is capable, but it's going to depend on how he does when called upon in this next outing. So I would say in general, Rachaad White, but I do love Tucker, and I think Tucker's better. Traded my Amon-Ra, Quentin Johnson, Kelsey, Judy for JT, McBride, Bill. I could get behind that JT side. I like that. That's not bad at all. Not bad at all. Ron with a $20 super chat. Ron, appreciate you, kind sir, with the $20 monster. Sorry if I missed this. New Age Outlaw with a $20 super chat as well. I thank both of you, kind sirs, for dropping the 20 wads on screen. Let me take this over to the other angle. Let me see if I can grab these. Appreciate you both for dropping the wattage on screen. Ron says Lamar, Bijan, Brees, Harvey, Henderson, Marks, White, Benson, Puka, Egbuka, QJ, BTJ. Who to start? Also need to pick up a QB. Daniel Jones, Kyler, Stafford, Dart. I would say probably Stafford for the long term for this week. I'd probably say still Stafford, but yeah, I'd probably say still Stafford. Then we got this lineup situation: 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, 1 flex. I mean, Bijan and Brees, obviously, your wide receivers are always going to be Puka and Buka, no matter what. Now, QJ at the moment, overall, you got to start week in and week out when he's playing, obviously. And if I'm trying to decide between a flex between QJ and Henderson and Marks, it's going to be matchup dependent week to week. Honestly, I would start Marks before I would start QJ just because I think Marks is going to get fed. I love Marks. I'd start Marks over Henderson for the moment, but you got really, really solid options. And Ron, your team is really, really good. Hopefully Lamar comes back and comes back strong for you because this team is solid. I'd be contemplating trading QJ and Marks or QJ and White, or if Henderson gets on his horse, Henderson and QJ, or QJ and Benson right now for a slight upgrade of some kind, just because I think selling QJ now is a smart move. The starting a running back and a wide receiver from the same team, is that a bad is bad team affect the upside of the team? What's this saying? Does starting a running back and wide receiver from same team that is bad team affect the upside of your team? There's a mouthful. I think it depends, man. I mean, every situation is different. For example, right now, Jamar Chase and Chase Brown, having both of them is awful. Awful. Because if and when the Bengals struggle, you're screwed. You know, having a Puka Nacua and Adams is fine. Having a Kyron and Puka is fine. Having it just on a potent offense, it's great. But the bad team is awful. When it's on a bad team, you 50% of the time probably are going to have a bad week because you have 2 players that tank at the same time, and there's no chance that one of them plays well when the team can't even, score the football. So it's totally team dependent. But in general, thank you for the $20 hauler, my boy. In general, you don't ever want to stack and have a lot of players on the same team in redraft. In best ball, it makes some sense because you're trying to eliminate having multiple things being right at one time, and that's definitely a strategy. Although I think people overuse it in best ball. In redraft, it's never a good idea to try and accumulate players from the same team. Doesn't mean I don't always avoid it, but it's got to be a very unique situation. Like when things are going well for the Bengals, it is great to have Burrow and Jamar Chase on the same team, and Chase Brown. Last year's Best Ball Mania winner, the individual that won the millions of dollars, had Chase Brown, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and Joe Burrow on the team. But that was best ball. This year, anybody that had the Bengals crew, their team is losing. Absolutely doing horribly. Michael Carter says he is starting. How confident do you feel he's telling the truth? I don't know, bro. I think DeMarcado, regardless of who starts the game, he might have been told, we're rotating, you're our captain. I don't know. Carter's definitely an option that you should be grabbing if available, but DeMarcado feels like the guy that would probably get the most work and the most notable work. But who knows, bro? It's hard to say. I don't have any confidence at all that he's telling the truth or lying. Can't trade who to drop, Debo, BTJ, or MHJ for Rice. That's unbelievable, bro. Guys, if you were in a league like Aussies where you had to drop one of BTJ or MHJ, we're not dropping Debo. Who are you dropping, BTJ or MHJ? I don't know, man. Maybe without Benson, they throw more to MHJ now. But it's so hard to know if they're going to do the right thing here. I guess I drop MHJ. in that situation. That's a weird, for anybody, for context, if anybody's just joining, he's in a weird league where it's like a 2-man league. I don't know. I would bet on BTJ more than MHJ is the way I'll word that. I'm not cutting MHJ or BTJ personally. You are. But if I'm choosing BTJ or MHJ, in that sense, I'm choosing BTJ. PPR, pick 2, Amari DeMarcado, Shakir Aomanor, or Slayton. Probably go Shakir and I would go Aomanor right now, but it's a tough call. Can only start 2. Thoughts: Hendy, Harvey, Addison. Addison for sure, and probably right now, I would say probably Hendy, Harvey. We got to decide later, bro, with news. I mean, it's hard not to start Harvey off that nice game, but Hendy scored. I'd probably say Harvey and Addison for now, but we need to wait on news, bro. We're news dependent on that Harvey Hendy call. Just traded in PPR my Jacobs and Nico for Puka and Brees. I think it's pretty even. I don't think it was a smash or a dub in either direction. I think Puka and Brees is fantastic. I think Nico and Jacobs is fantastic. I think Brees, it's all dependent on Brees. If Brees can be as good or better than Jacobs, then you win the trade because Puka is the number 1 wide receiver between Nico and Puka. Puka Nacua has also gone to the locker room during the game 2 out of 4 games now, too, though. So there's always that risk. But Nico's no stranger to injury either. But I would say that if Brees Hall delivers, you'll win that trade. Worthy, Pitts, Cook for JSN, Addison, and Kyron. I would take JSN, Addison, and Kyron. But very, very close. Worthy's playing great football. Cook is obviously what Cook is right now. Fantastic. I think I would probably take, well, I don't know. Maybe Cook and Worthy and Pitts is better. Depends if you needed the tight end situation there. God, Worthy's just one hit away. But he played so well. I guess I would say give me, Chad, are we going Worthy, Pitts, and Cook? I think I might lean Worthy, Pitts, and Cook. I might change my mind here. Worthy, Pitts, and Cook? I'd take Worthy, Pitts, and Cook, final answer. But, Alec, wait for the chat to vote. That is a very, very tough call. Someone dropped Pearsall. How much should I put on him? I don't know, bro. He's injured right now. I don't think it's serious, but it's definitely serious enough. It's PCL. It's not good. That's stability to the knee. I don't know. I would go with, a healthy drop, but I can't give you an exact amount. Is it a full load drop? Probably not, but I'd say go off of like maybe one of the higher wide receiver bids so far in your league. That's full load drop, then I guess it's full load drop, but I don't know that I'm necessarily sure what's going to be going on there in San Francisco moving forward. Will you trade Pickens for JSN? Absolutely. Swift for Ladd? I would rather have Ladd long term. Not everybody's going to agree with me on that, and I don't care. That's how I feel. I think Ladd's going to be somebody that helps save leagues. My Buka for Henry. I'd rather have Buka. I like Henry, but you're not buying Henry low. My instructions are to buy Henry low. That is not buying Henry low. Just got offered Bo Nix and Lamb for JSN and Charbonnet. If you need the quarterback play, I guess I do it, but you got to be able to weather through being without Lamb. If you can, then I'm okay with this trade. Offered White to the Bucky owner for Woody Marks. I'd rather have Woody Marks by a country mother freaking mile, bro. By a country mile. G Money with a super chat $20 holler, my boy, dropping the wattage. Appreciate you.
Alert. Super chat alert.
$20 super chat. $20 super.
Thank you, my boy. Hey, Smitty. Little trouble with injuries in my buys. Team is 3-1. JD5, he's back. That's good. May might be tradable if you wanted to take a gamble. Bijan, Kyron, Gibson. Picked up today. Benson. Wide receivers, Debo, Buka, Aomanor, Kraft, Fannin. Trade ideas. I think Kraft is very tradable. Kraft and Benson to somebody that's willing to take the Benson upside with Kraft. For a player that you could plug straight into the lineup. Guys like, obviously, you have Debo, Ibuka, So you could go after guys like Breece Hall, go after a guy like Etienne, a guy like Jacobs. I'm not saying Kraft and Benson get that, but you're shooting for the moon, obviously. And as you get down to like a Kamara, you could entertain it. You get down to a wide receiver like Adams. Adams would be perfect because he hasn't over-delivered, but he's been looking fantastic. DK is entertaining. Pickens is entertaining. Those are all players I would contemplate trading for at that price. Rice, obviously, Rice may or may not be attainable. If you threw in like Kraft and Benson and then you were able to give somebody that needed a quarterback, Drake May, you could go in that direction. If you're desperate, Drake May is a usable piece. I'm not saying it's safe to get rid of him, but it's a usable piece, bro. And it's not for the faint of heart, though, to go in that direction after JD5 just missed a grip of time. Smitty in Shambles, thank you for the $20 super chat, young man.
Alert. Super.
Let's see what you're in Shambles about. Hussein, appreciate you. You've got JD5 neighbors. Damn. Ladd, Sutton, Rice, Shakir, Judkins, Benson. Damn. Rashad White, Woody, Carter, Harvey, Hendy. Injury screw me. Can I survive without trading Rice? Best advice, please. God bless. Smitty to Mars. Thank you. I'll probably say with this squad, bro, you're 1-3. You're 2 games away from Rice returning. That's a top 5 to 7 wide receiver when he's back. You got Woody Marks there to save the day. Like, you know, you're in shambles and you're in kind of like complaint mode, right? And I don't blame you. I'm not saying that in a negative way. But you got to also remember that you were astute enough to get Rice. You were astute enough to get Judkins. You were astute enough to get Benson. It didn't work, right? You got hurt. But Woody Marks is on your roster. Hendy and Harvey are ready to hopefully pop at some point real soon, if not right away, one of them. You lost neighbors. You can't control that. This is still a team that I believe can do good work. I would entertain a Rice trade if you were to get a JSN, a Garrett Wilson, somebody that you can plug in as a wide receiver 1 all year. Otherwise, I am not trading Rice because you're about to get a top 5 to 7 wide receiver, maybe top 4 to 7. So you're putting in Woody. You got Sutton. You're going to have to trust in Ladd. And you're going to have to try and squeak out 1 win out of these next 2 weeks. If you don't, you still have a shot, bro. I've seen 0-6 teams come back and win a championship. But you need Rice to deliver. You need 1 or 2 of these Hendy, Harvey running backs to deliver. And you're just going to have to hope it all lines up. I don't think you have to get rid of Rice, but I would entertain it because it wouldn't be a bad move if you got a JSN somehow or something. But yeah, I'm fine with you standing down and hoping it all comes together. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. You know, don't stress about it. Understand this is why you play the game. You've been dealt a lot of uphill battles, but if you win in this context, you'll have a better season and more fun than you've ever had. So keep the faith and trust in Woody Marks, and hopefully you can get 1 win, and you'll be 2 wins in when Rice comes back, and you can crush. And you just need one of those running backs to step up. Team is 4-0. Hurts, Kyron, thank you for the $20 holler.
Alert. Super chat alert.
D-Flow to the moon. Thank you, my boy. Team is 4-0. Hurts, Kyron, Sharbs, Nakua, T-Mac, Warren, BTJ, Benches, Penix, Harvey, Gordon, Ale Manor. Have trade offer for my BTJ for his Judkins. I take Judkins in a heartbeat, bro. It's not even close. This is like the easiest question I've been asked all week, my boy.
You've just been Smitty.
Easiest question I've been asked all week, to be honest with you. Team is Dak. Knicks got offered JJ for my Hampton and MHJ. I'd probably rather have Hampton and MHJ. I want Hendo added. Stay put. If you get Hendo added, I guess I'd do it. But yeah, I guess I'd do it. JJ and Hendo, I'd take that for sure. But would I rather have Hampton and MHJ? Yeah, but then I'd try and trade MHJ still. But I think JJ's awesome, bro. But so is Hampton, and that extra piece helps. I don't know. It's close. If you were to do it, I could get behind it. You could literally lock me in a room and argue JJ versus Hampton, and I could come around on that. I could say, you know what? It wouldn't take much convincing, bro. They're very, very close. You get Hendy, and I love it. 12-team full PPR. Who do I start? 1 QB. Knicks, Daniel Jones. I'd probably say Knicks, and then two running backs, Kyron, Genty, Judkins. You're gonna go with you're gonna have to go with all three of those running backs. One is your flex. Your two wide receivers are gonna be Nico and Buka, and you're probably gonna start one of the running backs at the flex, bro, on the weekly. I mean, I like Sutton. I love you. Trade Sutton and Jamar Chase for one player. Trade Kyron and Jamar Chase for Gibbs or Bijan. You know, go in that direction, because you're going to have a tough time every week trying to make that call. But I don't think you could sit those running backs on the weekly, bro. Rate the team. JD5, JT, Scat, Nico, Tet, McBride. Like the squad. Trade my dart for A.O. Manor. That could go either way. Sure. I like A.O. Manor. Alvin for Mike Evans. I'd rather have probably Alvin Kamara. I think Alvin Kamara being traded, that hype is really making his value a little bit spiked, and I think you have a better time even trying to flip Alvin in the coming weeks than you would Mike Evans, who's injured. Superflex, PPR, Hurts, Stroud, Hill, Monty, Jacoby, Kincaid, bench. Wow, bro. Fernando, this team is rough. Appreciate your super chat. Hurts, Stroud, Justice Hill, Monty, Jacoby Myers, Slayton, Kincaid, bench, DeMarcado. What happened to the team? Is this this has got to be like a 20-man league? Well, you didn't really ask a question here, so I assume you want me to tell you what you should do. I mean, this team is going to struggle to win a game. So you're going to have to trade Jalen Hurts and try and get some sort of like quarterback. And, you know, I don't know. I don't know if you have a quarterback you can pick up and just, man. Stroud, I mean, you're going to have to go down to probably a Dak Prescott type of value, a Knicks type of value, a Penix Jr. type of value, and then get that additional player, Rashee Rice, that someone's waiting on, or potentially a Devontae Adams. Fernando, that would be what I would probably do with that team. You need something. You can't survive without having at least like one weapon to go with Hurts. 1-3. I appreciate your super chat. 1-3, least points scored, 10-team PPR. Hendy, Walker, Debo. Okay. Lost Benson, need moves. This is a tough team to move, bro. Chase Brown, you know, probably needing to put Chase Brown into the lineup, trust him, get rid of Walker. You're waiting on Rice and Lamb. Honestly, I don't know that I'm moving those guys, because what if you make trades and don't even win and you got rid of them? So trade Walker, try and get an Adams right now. Trade Walker and probably someone like I don't know, BTJ and Walker for one bigger player. Past that, I'm waiting it out, because you have the weapons here. You just need them back. Once they're back, you're going to go on a tear. Hopefully, Hendy's on his horse at that point. This is a good team, a really good team. You could trade Walker and Debo for one big monster. Go trade Walker for Henry. Give up something small if you need to, bro. You get Henry, I almost predict you come back and tell me you win the championship, bro. What is your opinion on Sean Tucker with the Bucky injury? We've covered that already a lot, Dre. It's essentially, I think that Tucker's the better running back. I think Rachaad White's going to get more work. And I think they both get work, and whoever's the hot hand could take over. And so banking on Sean Tucker is riskier, but it might have more upside at the end of the day. But he's certainly the guy that's delivered when Bucky's gone down, and they've called upon him to run between the tackles. So don't expect Rachaad White to just get all the work. They're both going to get used, and whoever does well is going to take over. Now, Sean Tucker could do bad. Maybe Rachaad White, they throw to him enough and he's effective enough. It's kind of like the J.K. Dobbins-Harvey situation. Harvey's better, but J.K. is in there, he delivers, and then they keep using him. So Rachaad White could get that. Bucky and Bijan out starting Marks and Harvey. Thoughts? I think that it's risky, but bro, this is this is how it works. Bijan on a bye, you got to take that bye. You'll be done and over, and you'll be having Bijan, going full force from the next week on. So I feel pretty good about it. I think there's some good upside there. I don't know that I'm going to guarantee you win, but I would say that Marks is going to deliver, and I think that Harvey's a nice little gamble right now. 12-team PPR. I lost neighbors. Burrow thoughts. I got offered AJ and Brees for Woody and Debo. I would rather have Woody and Debo. I think Woody Marks might be for real, bro. And AJB is a concern. Do I think I would take this AJB Brees side if you guarantee me you could flip AJB into a Woody Marks type player or better, then I would definitely do the trade. But I don't know that anybody wants AJ Brown right now. That's why the guy's trying to trade you him. So I'd probably say Woody Marks needs to be respected more than he's being respected. I have Knicks, Garrett Wilson, Sutton, J-Mo, Bijan, Hampton, Ferguson, Sharps, Fields, Algier. Trade Rice for Walker or Judkins. Not Walker, bro. We're trying to get rid of Walker. Walker, you have Sharps, I get it, but Walker's in flux and often injured, and the situation's not ideal, and Sharps is coming back to take half the work at least, and so Judkins, I like Judkins and Rice about the same once Rice is back. I like Judkins more if you're getting the 2 games, which you are, or with Miller perhaps, if straight up, or with Miller. I mean, I'd take Miller if you give him to you, just because it seems like people want Kendra Miller for trade. So I would do that. But Judkins is probably pretty damn good to do that trade. I appreciate your work, brother. You're a secret weapon. Thank you, Top Gun. Appreciate you. I'm still thinking about getting my boys on this channel. It's hard to lose when I got an upper hand. By the way, where's Denny? Denny called in the other night. Top Gun, I do urge you to do it, because if you could get the boys involved, and you guys, like, we've got a couple like sets of brothers on here. We had even Scotty Dew from Hawaii and his buddy that no longer calls in. It was always fun when they call in together. We work out trades. It was fantastic. We got the Mario brothers. We got we have several brothers on here. They come on here. We have a bunch of friends. They come on all the time, and it makes it fun, Top Gun. And obviously, you become a big part of the show too, and they see that it's fun that they see that. You also can tell people just at work. You can tell people at the deli. You see somebody in a Raider hat, you tap them on the shoulder and say, go watch the Fantasy Football Show. You will love it. I took your advice on McBride. Traded McBride and Myers for Adams and Hubbard. Still have Bijan, JSM, but need something since my running back 2 was Henderson and wide receiver 2 is BTJ. With this information, I don't know what you could trade, because you didn't give me a list of a lot of guys, but I would say that I like the move. I would maybe try and move Hubbard and something else to upgrade Hubbard slightly. Henry is such a good buy right now. Hubbard for Henry straight up. Hubbard and something for Henry straight up. It's a good gamble to take. I like Chuba, though. Don't get rid of Chuba for nothing. I do worry about the Cav, but thank you for the super chat. Give Jamar Chase and Harvey to get Judkins and Ladd. I would take Judkins and Ladd very quickly, because Judkins is fantastic. Tried offering JCM instead of Harvey. Yeah, I'd rather not give up Harvey, I'll be honest. I mean, Jamar Chase and Harvey's tough to surrender, but Judkins is the far better player right now, and Jamar Chase feels like garbage right now. I do think there'll be a rebound game, but will it be consistently rebounding? No. Smitty, trade Worthy for Marks. I think it's a fair trade. I think Marks is that good. I do think Worthy holds a little bit more value, but I'm okay with this. Also, should I drop Travis Hunter for Bond? I probably wouldn't yet. I like Bond, but I'm not dropping Travis Hunter yet. Again, I just explained earlier that Bucky didn't do anything till week 10. No one wants this path for Hunter, but to assume he's not going to do anything is crazy to me. 1 and 3 need some minor tweaks. Love the show. Thank you for all you do. Appreciate you, bro. We'll figure out the other tweaks as we go. I have Fannin and Joku and Jawan. Who should I drop for Darren Waller? I would probably say you got Taysom Hill coming back. I don't know. Jawan or Joku. I'm not dropping Fannin. Fannin's a monster, bro. Speak of the devil. Denny, I don't have time to talk real much right now, but I did want to get you on the phone line. A lot of people ask about you. Can I get the Debo song one more time? We always love that.
All right. I mean,
Jeez.
I don't know. I don't, my voice isn't that good. I just, no, you're supposed to. Now you're supposed to tell me.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead and do it anyway. We need it, Denny. We need it. We need it, please. Yes.
Debo, draw back your bow and let your arrow go straight into fantasy football for me. Nobody but me. Debo, please hear my cry. Should I let my arrows fly? No, it's good. No, Debo's all right. No.
Yeah. Debo's doing good. Hey, Denny, I do got to roll through these super chats, so I got to go. But will you call back in a little bit when you open the phone line?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind. I mean, I'm just talking to you as a friend.
Yeah. Simi Valley just super chatted $20 and said, Denny, my boy, Simi Valley loves you. He's your biggest fan on the show, bro. If you ever need a place to stay or a shirt off his back, Simi Valley will give it to you. I promise you that.
Like, would he, like, what if I just wanted to, it just sounds crazy, but what if I wanted to make bunk beds with him?
Yeah, he pushed the bunk beds together, more room for activities. Real quickly, I got to go. Simi Valley, what state are you in? What city are you in? Because if Denny ever needs a place to stay, I know Simi Valley would open the door.
A lot. I appreciate you.
All right, Denny, got to go. Call back after the super chats.
No,
right?
what state?
I'll let you know. Keep listening.
All right, I'll talk to you later.
All right, call back. Call back though. He's not going to call back. I have Fannin and Joku. Yeah, Fannin. I'm definitely loving the Fannin value. Where's Simi Valley live? California. Rather have Blue or Brashard Smith, but I do love Blue. It's all about opportunity. So Blue got the opportunity. He'd be great. Kamara and DK for Henry. I'd take Henry. Henry's one of the better buy lows right now, no matter what the Henry haters want to say. And remember, I did not want any of you drafting Henry. None of you. I wanted none of you to draft Derrick Henry. Drop JCM for Dobbs. Either way, sure. I could get behind that. I mean, just monitor him. Should I trade George Pickens for CeeDee Lamb? Of course, take CeeDee Lamb and run. I love George Pickens, though. My Gibbs plus Debo for Lamb and Amaran Hampton. I would take, I would take Gibbs and Debo. Because you're still waiting on that. It's not the smartest move to do that with the weight. Plus, I mean, it's arguable anyway if there wasn't a weight. $20 hauler from my boy.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Thank you for the super chat, my man. And I got another $20 hauler here from Christopher. Christopher, appreciate your 20 that you just dropped as well, young man. And I don't know if we have any other 20s that I need to get on screen. I don't think so. But I'm 3-1. Nix, Hampton, Genty, Buka, Wilson, Hampton. Any combos to get me Rice. He's weak at wide receiver with Nico, Terry, and Diggs. Running backs, Pacheco, Dobbins. Okay. Love to get Rice, bro. I'm in agreement. Don't trade Hampton. Don't trade Genty. Don't trade Buka. Don't trade Garrett Wilson, but you could do like a 2-for-1 or a 2-for-2 or something. But I don't know with what you listed, it would be smart. Hendy, London. Man, I don't know. This is tough. I guess Garrett Wilson for Rice, and then you try and get something else from him because you're waiting. Like get Scary Terry thrown in or something, who's injured right now. So Scary Terry and Rice for Garrett Wilson. That's the only thing I can come up with. In at least you got that Scary Terry value. There's nothing else to trade because I don't want you moving another one of those big name players. And honestly, like Garrett Wilson's tough to move, but I love Rice. I do love Rice more per start. Smitty to the moon. Running backs are Genty, Kyron, Woody, Hendy, Benson. Main wide receivers are London, MHJ, Buka. Feel I need another solid wide receiver. 1 and 3, 5 fantasy teams, and have Woody in all 5 thanks to you. Everybody that has Woody Marks on their team, can you guys drop some wood in the live chat? Drop some wood emojis in the live chat if you own Woody Marks because you watch this channel. I just want to see the impact of the Woody Marks movement It's really nice to see, because even though there are negatives in fantasy right now, there's a lot of injuries that have struck, and you got guys like Bucky banged up, Neighbors has been lost. It is nice to know that we have this many Woody Marks opportunities. And yes, show your pieces of Woody flair in the live chat right now. It's really, really enjoyable to see. As far as this team goes, running backs, Genty, Kyron, Woody, love the squad. Your wide receivers are pretty good. You need another solo wide receiver. Rice or Lamb is the guy that I'm trying to get now. Would I trade Woody or Hendy or whatever for Rice? Yes, I would, even though I love Woody Marks. Would I trade Kyron and let's say MHJ for Rice and something? Of course, it would depend on what the something is, but I am interested in trying to get in Rice and a player I believe in. Would I trade MHJ for Rice alone? Yes. Would I trade MHJ and Benson for Derrick Henry, and then you could flip Derrick Henry for a wide receiver, or just keep Derrick Henry? Yes. Would I go after Devontae Adams using MHJ and Benson? Yes. Using maybe Adams, using maybe Woody? Yes. Things like that. And I love Woody. I don't want you to trade Woody, but Woody is also something that you picked up off waivers that you can use to better your team if you can better your team. That's part of the allure of having Woody, is that you can trade Woody if you need to trade Woody, or you can hold Woody if you need to hold Woody. No pause necessary. Scat for Hendy or Gordon. I'd rather have Scat by a hair right now, but Hendy hopefully becomes better. The winds could shift on that one for sure. And if they did, I want Hendy. But right now, you got to go with what you have, right? I have HNET Judkins. Fantastic team. Love the running backs. Waller, Washington, Bond, Gabriel for free agent. I'd probably say it depends on your need, man. If you need a wide receiver, I kind of like Bond. If you need a tight end more, Waller, but Waller, Bond probably. But I don't know. They're all pretty close. They're all pretty close. I was just sent Derrick Henry and Bowers for Achane. Do I smash that? Yes, I would take Derrick Henry and Bowers for Achane. Pros and cons, sure. There's risk to it, but I take on that risk. I'm fine with that risk. I was just sent AJ Bowers, AJB for Gibbs and Laporta. I would take Gibbs and Laporta. 12-team PPR, need tight end help. Addison for Kelsey. I go after a different tight end, bro. I don't know that Kelsey's going to help you. Trade Garrett Wilson for London and JMO. London and JMO for... I would probably take London and JMO. I think JMO is a very good buy low right now. Probably London and JMO. Sutton, Chuba for Rice. I would rather have Rice if I could weather through not having him for 2 weeks. Dynasty trade candidates for Benson and Brashard Smith. I'd price and Gainwell. Benson, like you want to go get Brashard Smith or Gainwell. I would say Benson trade targets would be, honestly, if you can win now, I'd go after veterans like Adams and try to win a championship. Because I don't know what Benson's going to get you in the Dynasty. I would take Woody Marks. I would take Harvey. I would take Hendy. And of course, with Hendy and Harvey, you might have to give up more. But I think trading Benson with something will get you more in return than trying to trade Benson by himself. As I always explain, adding another piece in the 2-for-1 psychologically makes somebody believe in the doubted player a little more. So that's kind of how I would approach it if I was you. Who gets the start? Harvey, Devontae Smith, or JCM, Goff, Tua, Dart, Gino? Probably Goff. Probably Harvey, but that's not an easy call there. It really isn't. Ted, MHJ for JJ. I would take JJ still. Puka. Yeah, that's easy. That's light work, bro. Traded Marvin Hampton for Neighbors and late second in Dynasty. I would not have done that. I think Hampton, look, I love Neighbors. I love Neighbors, but it might take him a year of playing on to get to Hampton. I don't know. Chat, would you rather have Hampton and Marv or Neighbors in Dynasty? I still believe Neighbors can be the number one dynasty wide receiver at some point, but it could take a year of him playing to get back. I don't know. The ACL injury is really tough, bro. Mixed with the toe surgery, mixed with he's gonna have a lot of rehab. I very, very much love Neighbors still, but I don't know that I would have gotten rid of Hampton. Hampton's fantastic, bro. Thoughts on Waddle and prayers you'd give and players. I thought I said prayers. Players you give for him. Waddle. Players I'd give for him. I like him, bro, but I'd rather have Adams. I'd rather have Debo. I'd rather have Pickens. I'd rather have DK Metcalf. I'd rather have. So I don't know, bro. I don't know that I want to get Waddle. I would maybe. I mean, you'd have to give me the players, Dark. I don't know what players I can suggest to you. Like, would I trade Flowers for him? I guess. Maybe not. Would I trade Ricky Pearsall for him? Sure. Would I trade Devontae Smith for him? Sure. Would I trade Addison for him? I think I'd rather have Addison. Would I trade an injured Mike Evans for him? Probably. But that's what we're talking about. I don't know. Past that, you'd have to give me the list of names. 2 wide receivers, 1 flex, full PPR, Pickens, JSN, double E, Adams. Who's sitting this week? Zach, you got to make a trade, bro. You got to make a trade. I don't know. Pickens, I suppose. It's an impossible question. You got to make a trade. Trade Pickens. You can't sit those other guys. My BTJ for Henry, I'd take Henry in a second. Drop Rashard Smith for Bond. It's even. Whatever position you need, you take that. And Daniels or Fields this week. I mean, look, Fields is a great matchup. Chad, would you start Fields over JD5 this week? I don't think I could sit JD5 if he's starting, but it is the Dallas Cowboy matchup. It is literally the best matchup in football. So vote on that one, Chad. I was going to dismiss that question and say, oh, you can't, but look, Fields could outscore him this week. It's crazy, a crazy matchup. Pick 4 to start Debo, Garrett Wilson, Worthy, Bucky, Kyron, Genty, Mason. I mean, when Bucky's back, he's obviously a go. But like each week, I'm not sitting Genty or Kyron whenever they're playing. I'm not sitting Garrett Wilson whenever he's playing. And then it really just comes down to Mason, Worthy, and Debo in the matchup. Right now, I'm probably gonna roll with Debo for safety. Worthy's high risk, high reward. But that's a tough one. So Judkins and Ladd for Jamar and Benson. I would take Judkins and Ladd. He won't do Tet. Judkins and Ladd for Jamar and Benson. I would take Judkins and Ladd. And I think Ladd will be valuable down the stretch. I really do. Trade Ricky, Addison, and Sharps for Flowers, Benson, Tootin. No. Not with the injury, bro. I don't think so. Fields or JSN for Garrett Wilson. Fields for JSN or Garrett Wilson. I would take JSN, then Garrett Wilson, then that order, yes. Either one. Considered bringing back the live active polling. T-Dog, I don't know what you mean. You mean like the vertical live streams? Yeah, whenever we're out and about, I do that on the streets of Phoenix. Yeah, start 2. I'll try and do one this week. Start 2, Keenan Allen, Addison, Worthy, Godwin. Let's go Addison and Worthy. Addison and Worthy. Trade London Woody for Barkley Marv. Give me Barkley Marv. But that's a risk. I mean, Barkley certainly doesn't look great right now. Literally been scouting Emeka for the last 2 years. The guy snipes me in the 6th round. Well, sorry, bro. Thank you for the super chat. 3-1. What moves can I make? Josh Allen, Gibbs, Woody Marks, Harvey, Gainwell, Flowers, MHJ, DK Sutton, Addison, McBride. Love Josh Allen, Garrett Wilson. Not touching that, bro. I don't know that you got a lot of trade power here. You're going to have to maybe go like Sutton and McBride or MHJ and McBride for like a monster, bro. Trade Sutton for Rice. If you can weather through it, you're 3-1. Sutton for Lamb, Sutton and MHJ for Lamb and something, Sutton and MHJ for Rice and something, McBride for Rice, McBride for Lamb, Addison and Sutton, Addison and DK, Addison and MHJ for something, Gainwell and Addison, Gainwell and MHJ. I'm going after like a JSN for Gainwell and MHJ. I'm going after a Judkins or a Hampton using combos of those guys, and I'm certainly going after a Henry. Raul, appreciate your super chat. H13 Productions, appreciate you with the super chat here. Super sent last night, 4-0, 12 team, got Kyron and for Dobbins. Okay, great trade. Teams looking good. QJ Rice, Evans, Slayton, McBride. Do I trade Evans plus Tootin for AJB and Fab? I probably would, and then I flip AJB, or hold him till he has a good game, then flip him. But yeah, that's certainly good. Thank you for the super chat, my boy.
Alert.
And that would be a very nice move. I don't like acquiring AJB very often, but that is a smart way to acquire AJB. You're acquiring them for cheap, and then you either flip them or you wait to flip them. You got me Woody, Rashad, and both Arizona running backs. Awesome, bro. Congrats on that. Appreciate the super chat. 2-2 PPR, Keenan Allen and Scat for Rice and Pitts. Give me Rice and Pitts, baby. Rice to the moon, man. Got Lamar for Hurts. Got Lamar for Hurts, Xavier Worthy, Chuba, then ETN for Woody. Be careful on that trade for Lamar, though, because, you know, you're giving up Worthy and Hurts. And while I do doubt Hurts for many reasons, he's still scoring fantasy points right now. And you gave up Xavier Worthy. So I don't know that you're buying a Lamar cheap there. Like, you need to buy Lamar cheap. So I don't know if you made out like a bandit on that one. But ETN for Woody, I'm fine with that one. I love Woody, though. Woody could actually be as good. And what if ETN loses his job? So I don't know. I wouldn't be doing celebration victory laps necessarily on the cost that you paid, but I think you could end up doing well. I mean, Lamar comes back in 1 or 2 weeks, and he's the same Lamar, bro. And then let's say ETN balls out all year long, bro. You might have made two very, very, very good moves. But there's arguments, is what I'm trying to say. Would you drop Kendre Miller for Brashard Smith? Probably. But I know a lot of people disagree with me on that. They think Kendre Miller is the best thing ever. I don't understand why. It's because he's available and people that own him want to talk him up. Start Hendy or Woody this week. Woody. 2 leagues have, yeah, Woody's the guy. Woody's the guy, bro. His coach wants him to get more work. It's exciting. QB's on the bot. My QB's on a buy. Trade CD for Judkins and Dart. I'm okay with that. I'm okay because I love Judkins, but you know, I would maybe want to get something else if possible, because I feel like Lamb's a little more valuable. Like, Judkins didn't have the game that Hampton had, so I feel like he's still a little bit under the radar a little bit value-wise. So I feel like you're overpaying slightly. QJ for Waddle, I could get behind either one, bro. I'm not a huge QJ guy, but I'm also not a huge Waddle guy. Devontae Smith, K9 and Charbonnet for Henry and Ridley. Couldn't get him to bite on just K9 and D Smith for Henry. So you dealt Devontae Smith, K9 and Charbonnet for Henry. Devontae Smith, K9 and Charbonnet for Henry and Ridley. I like it. Not everybody's going to like it.
Alert. Super chat alert.
But I'm fine with it, Thomas. I'm fine with it. It's a gamble, but I'm fine taking the gamble. Like, if I miss on this buy low Derrick Henry moment, I'm fine with it. You got to be fine with it too. You know, it's a gamble. But so is starting Walker each week instead of Sharps, or Sharps instead of Walker, and missing that every single week. And Devontae Smith's in one of the worst passing offenses in the league. Spears, Mason for Aaron Jones, fair? No, I'd rather have Mason. Aaron Jones, I don't know what Aaron Jones will ever be again. You know, he's an older, injured player. Start 2, Woody, Chase. Thank you for the super chat, though. Start 2, Woody, Chase Brown, Hendy, Sharps. Give me Woody and probably Chase Brown for now. Unfortunately, it's, you know, you're going to be questioning it each and every week. I get it, but he's still the better player. He's still getting volume. I'm still getting through these super chats, so hang tight. We're going Sharps or Tucker. Sharps. Love you, Smitty. No buts. Thank you, Tyler. Smitty, I love you, but Gamble on Hawkinson or take a flyer on the tongueinator. This week's waiver wire is pretty thin. I'm gonna go Hawkinson. Okay, let's go. I still got. I'm going to the top here. 3 and 5 medium scoring. Just traded K9 and Keenan Allen for London. I love it. Have HN. Yeah, love it. That's how you do it. That's how you do it, bro. That's the way you roll. That's the way we do it. It's the way Dad did it. It's the way America does it. It's worked out pretty good so far. Go Bucks. Start 2. Hendy, White, Harvey, Carter, or A.O. Manor. Probably going to go White and Harvey or White and Hendy. But we got to wait on the news on the Hendy or Harvey and see which one is looking a little bit better. Brashard Smith dropped Tootin. Nope. Ramondre. I maybe dropped Ramondre for Brashard Smith, but that's it. But that's preference, bro, and it doesn't. There's no guarantee on that, honestly. Big Day was offered Brees and Waddle for my Garrett Wilson and DeMarcado. I know you think I'm going to say that's a smash, and it might be good, but there's arguments to be made here. I mean, Garrett Wilson's a baller, bro. Brees Hall I like, but Waddle, I'm not as high on Waddle as everybody else, but I think he's good. I think he's going to get an uptick. I'd say, yeah, I'd probably take Brees and Waddle. I just don't know if I'm wavering on that, you know, even though I probably hit accept. My running backs, okay, Tootin. What's going on with Debo? Nothing, bro. Debo's just got a heel issue. He's sitting out. Not a big deal. Unless something changes, I'll tell you. But Debo looks pretty good to go, as far as I can tell. He's just maintenance. It's rest. JD5's back. Debo and JD5 to the moon. 3 and 1. Everyone's subbed out for a bye week. Any thoughts on this team? Already have everyone. Okay. I would say Hurts, Bijan, James Cook, Amon-Ra, BTJ, London, Kraft. I like this team, bro. There's nothing to trade. You know, Kraft and BTJ for one monster player, maybe. You know, you go after a Lamb injured. Kraft and BTJ for Rice. You're 3 and 1. Those are things that I think about when there's no other move to make. 1 and 3 team is JD5, Genty, ETN, Brees, Nico, MHJ. Got offered Henry and Tet for my Brees and MHJ. I am going to say, wow. Look, Brees is still fantastic, and the situation just opened up because Braylon's got a severe knee injury and is out indefinitely. Chat, can we vote on this one? Henry and Tet or Brees and MHJ? I'm leaning slightly toward Henry and Tet. What should you do if no one trades? I would still keep trying. You know, something like Waddle and Scary Terry, or Waddle and Brees, or Waddle and ETN to go get a big monster, bro. Like, I keep trying and throwing that at the wall. I'd take the gamble on Henry Tet, though. And then I flip Ted if I can, though. Full PPR redraft. Do I trade ETN for Kamara? No, absolutely not. My running backs are... ETN's playing great right now, bro. I mean, he's fantastic. I would look to shop him if you don't have Tootin, but I'm still not trading him for just to trade him. PPR, who do I pick up for my extra bench? Kendra Miller, Brashard Smith, Ollie Gordon, Tucker Bond. Probably Brashard Smith for the long-term play. Also, rest of the season, Patriots, Eagles, Browns. Probably the Eagles or Browns. Chad, Eagles or Browns moving forward. Patriots are playing well, though. I'd probably say, I don't know. Browns, Eagles. What do you guys think going forward? 10 half PPR, Fields, Caleb, JT, Marks, Bijan, Mason, Adams. Mason's expendable. Marks is somewhat expendable. Devontae Adams, I like. Tyler Warren, BTJ. Walker. So let's go keep Rice. Let's go Walker and Mason, or Walker and Marks for one monster, bro. Walker for Henry straight up. Walker and Mason for Henry and something. Marks, try and keep Marks if you can. Lamb, you got Rice. Go get Lamb. Mason and Walker for Lamb. BTJ and Walker for Lamb. Esteban, thank you for the super chat, young man. Trade DeMarcado and MHJ or BTJ. I'd rather keep BTJ. Who should you target? So DeMarcado and MHJ. Adams. Henry. Adams, Henry. Adunze. Garrett Wilson. JSN. Love the thought process, bro. Keep at it too. Wide receivers: London, Rice, Nico. I was gonna say Rice. I have Marks and Chase Brown. Chase Brown and MHJ for one, like Achan or Henry or something. Henry and something. Get Henry and something for that. Chase Brown and MHJ. With Flacco gone, does Fannin throw the apron on and cook? I maybe. We don't know. We don't know how that's gonna go. I mean, that's the risk of quarterback carousels for good and bad. You know, Juwan Johnson and Waller need to drop one. I think Fannin's so good that, you know, whoever gets in there, if they're a better quarterback, Fannin will play better. You know what I'm saying? And then have Juwan Johnson and Waller need to drop 1 out of 3. I guess Juwan. I like Juwan, but you got Taysom Hill back and how that's going to work and all that. Mahomes, Bijan, Gibbs, love that. Adunze, MHJ, geez, bro. Team is fantastic. Hover over the Walker owner with that Charbonnet dangle. Just dangle Sharps and say, what do you want? I'll give you MHJ and Sharps for your slightly better wide receiver, bro. That's all you need to do. That's the move. Dangle Carter out there over the Benson owner's head. Do the same thing. Don't trade anything else. Throw in Judy. Throw in A.O. Manor. Love the team. It's the only move to make. Not much else to do. Your team's great. I wouldn't move anything else. Go after Devontae Adams in a buy low trade. Hendy, Harvey, Benson. Trade Chase and Jamar Chase and Benson for Judkins and Ladd. Jamar Chase and Benson. Judkins and Ladd. I think this is the one we already talked about, but it's obviously it hits hard every time you see it though, because it's Jamar Chase, you know. The way I look at it though is I'd take Judkins over Jamar Chase in a draft right now, in a redraft, not a dynasty, but a redraft. I just would. I think everybody should. Gainwell and Tootin both on waivers. I would have to drop Fannin or JCM. I'd drop JCM. And I'd probably pick up, I would think, look, Tootin's going to be better on the year. So if you want a long-term play, go Tootin. If you want the short-term gain, even though he's on a bye week, I'd say Gainwell. Yeah. Thank you, Vlad. Appreciate you. I like the rest of the squad. 10-team PPR 0-4. What moves to make? Mahomes, CD, Jettas, London, Rice. Your team is unbelievable. Assuming you can start CD, Jettas, London, and Rice, bro, all of them, you got to look to shop. If you can start Worthy as well, then you just stand down and you enjoy that production. But if you can only start 4, and so Jettas, London, Rice, and CD, then you got to maybe move Worthy and Hendy, Worthy and Ferguson, Worthy and Harvey, Worthy and Tootin, Worthy and White, Worthy and Ben, whatever, to try and get that extra player. Now, the running backs, again, Henry is my favorite go-get running back right now at the cost of entry, because we're talking about potentially this entry point. Hall, I don't know if Hall's that tradable right now with the news now that he's probably not going to have as much competition. I think Chase Brown's an interesting, intriguing player to get, but I don't want to do that straight up. I think Worthy's worth more. But you could look into it and say, what could I get? I know some people want to run away from Chase Brown, but there's still probably some volume that comes down stream. Worthy for Judkins, probably not going to pull it off straight up, but if you threw Ferguson in, that might be a move. That might be a move to make. If you throw Benson and a Ferguson in to get Worthy into a player like Chuba Hubbard for Worthy for Chuba Hubbard's a possibility. Hall, it's a possibility. Give up a little more. Throw Benson in. You could probably get Breece Hall for Worthy and Benson. You could probably get, Woody Marks. You need a running back. Woody Marks is pretty damn good. I don't know that I'm freaking out, though, about Harvey and Hendy to go along with your, who's your other running back? Yeah, you don't have another one, no. Damn. Maybe you bank on Worthy and Rice, and you got Mahomes, and you enjoy that. Maybe you got to move. I wonder if you can move CD now for Henry. London or CD for Henry, and then try and get something more. Bucks, it might be needed. You might need to look at it at least. What else could you get with Henry? How cheap can you buy him low? Meaning, what else could you get thrown in? How do you feel about Lamb? Any updates? We talked about at the beginning of the show, so you might want to go back and check that out. But essentially saying that they talk about him like he's, hey, this week he didn't, or today he didn't practice, and that's all very positive. For that, he's not out 2, 3, 4 more weeks maybe. But if you were to own him, you hold him. And if you were to buy him, you need to buy him as if he's missing 3 more games. You cannot buy him on the spec that he comes back early. That is league winning if he does come back early because you bought him on the spec that he won't. So I think that it's probably going to be 2 to 3 more weeks. But I think there's a chance that he comes back early. He's talked about it as if it's not even a big deal. Super chat here from Mamba. Mamba, thank you for the blank dollar hauler. Appreciate you. Start 2, Harvey, Sean Tucker, Amari, and Henderson. Guys, if anybody drops the super chat and they don't include the message, I can't find it, especially with how fast the chat goes. There's no way to tie it to the super chat. So make sure you include the super chat with your message. Start 2, Harvey, Sean Tucker, and Amari and Henderson. Probably going to start, I guess, Harvey and Henderson. But, it's risky, and we're kind of dependent on the news, my boy. So we kind of got to wait on that. Dak or Fields. Probably Fields this week with the matchup against the Cowboys, bro. It's such a good matchup. Start 2, Harvey, Sean Tucker, Amari, Henderson. I already did that one. Thank you, Silent. Appreciate you. Garrett Wilson or Pickens for Rice and either Harvey or Monty. Garrett Wilson and Pickens or Garrett Wilson or Pickens for Rice. And I would keep Garrett Wilson if you can. Pickens for Rice and Harvey would be awesome. Or Harvey and Monty. Maybe Monty even better for right now. I think Harvey might be better long-term on the season. But Monty, you can get, and even Garrett Wilson for Rice and Monty would be good enough. But I would try and keep Garrett Wilson. That's a great trade. I think a lot of people would love to have that. Fannin or Gordon for Woody. Sure. I'd take Woody for either. I'd rather keep Fannin, I guess, but I don't know that you're going to pull that off unless you're talking about that's waiver wire stuff. Start, sit based on matchup Henderson or Michael Carter. I'm not starting Michael Carter right now. I think I will wait on that. I would take Henderson, but it's close and news could change, right? Smitty, who do you rather flex this weekday? Mercado, White, or Marks? Marks is not even close. Marks is not even a close question. Marks his coach wants to give him more work, he said. Just traded McCaffrey for JSN and Hampton. I like that. That's a fantastic trade. That's exactly what we're talking about.
You've just been Smitty approved.
That's how you trade. That's how you trade Christian McCaffrey. Judkins plus Adams for Bucky. I take Judkins and Adams for Bucky in a millisecond right now. And that sucks to say, but it is what it is. And it's a fantastic return and it's smart fantasy football management. Llama.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Llama with a 20. 12 team, 2 running back, 3 wide receiver, 1 flex. Mahomes, Genty, Hampton, Garrett, BTJ, Buka, Javante, Kraft, bench, Fanning, Tracy, Keenan. Anything I should do. Also, Drake London owner looking for running backs. I mean, I'd be very tempted to try and trade him, but like, I don't think I'm trading Hampton or Genty away for Drake London. So I don't think you're going to be going after Drake London doing anything like that. There's no running backs. I mean, Harvey, if you could trade him Harvey and BTJ or Harvey and Garrett Wilson for Drake London, then I guess I would do it. So if that works, I definitely pull that off. As far as your team, I love the running backs. I love the receivers. I love Buka and Garrett Wilson. I think it's fantastic. I think the only thing you'd be considering would be maybe trading like a Keenan Allen and you got Javonte. I just saw that. So Javonte and London, sure. Javonte, BTJ for London. Javonte, Keenan Allen for London. Javonte, Harvey, and Keenan Allen for London. Yeah, I just saw your Javonte buried right here in this long message. Definitely, bro. Llama, that's the move right there. And Javonte, look, Javante's very, very tradable right now. Very nice piece. BTJ, don't give up Javonte and Garrett Wilson for London if possible. Like, if you do that, you have to get more. I would say get Javonte and BTJ. Thank you for the super chat, bro. Try and move on that. And if not, Rice and Lamb. I forget if you had Lamb. All those guys are great. Chris, appreciate your $20 hauler. Really struggling to have Dak, Bucky, Hendy. It's bad, Smitty, but should I stick it out? I mean, probably, bro. There's not a lot you can do here. You're just gonna have to have a major comeback. You just gonna have to have a major comeback, unless you could trade Lamb right now for. But even so, I'll be honest with you, bro. With the Bucky and Hendy and everything going on, you're probably gonna trade away Lamb and then lose anyway the next week or two, and wait it out. Let Rice come back, and hopefully Lamb comes back a game early, and you just got to go straight out the gate, man. Just 5 in a row, 6 in a row wins. I mean, I would trust that team once it's all back and assembled, bro. Smitty, I'm in a bind. Need to drop a player to pick up a tight end due to the bye week. 2-2, 10-team PPR, 1 QB. You need to drop a player. Man, I hate these questions when you guys have these loaded squads. It's probably going to be Kyler. If you think you can pick up another quarterback pretty easily, because it's such a small bench, right? That quarterbacks are probably available, right? If you could pick up, if there's 5 or 6 starters available every week, even if some of them are sketchy, but they're starting, I'd probably say I'm dropping Kyler, and the odds are Kyler won't get picked up, right? So, unfortunately, that's the move to make. I don't think I dropped those other pieces, and your team's good. You know, your team's really good, bro. I like the squad. And thank you for the $20 hauler.
Alert. Super.
And if you can't, just to give you further help on that question, Chris, I didn't mean to close it so quickly. If you can not make that move, I don't think I'm cutting. I just don't think I can cut any of these guys, bro. I can't. And I like your team. If you can make a trade, though, like Kamara and Worthy for Henry, Kamara and Debo for Henry, open up a spot. Chris, that might work. Like that. Who's starting? DeMarcado, Knight, Turner. He said he's him. I don't know what you're saying there. Do you mean Carter? Yeah, I don't know, bro. I don't know that I'm trusting Carter saying he's the starter. You know, like how do you trust that? I'm the starter. I don't know. He might be. But DeMarcado, doesn't even matter if he starts. DeMarcado's gonna get work too, though. Seclan, hey Smitty, start 2, non-PPR, Jordan Mason, Michael Carter, DeMarcado, Sean Tucker. Thank you, Seclan. Appreciate your $10 hauler. Let's see here. Start 2. I'm gonna go Jordan Mason, and then we're news dependent, Seclan. I wish I could tell you right now to lock in DeMarcado. Carter might get more work. I like Carter. I like DeMarcado. I don't love either one, but I like them. Whichever one's starting is going to play well. I like Sean Tucker a lot too, but we got to wait on that news. He's so explosive. I would probably lean toward DeMarcado till we know there's more seriousness toward this Michael Carter nonsense, but and there could be start Vikings defense versus the Browns or Cardinals at home versus the Titans. Probably the Cardinals, I suppose, bro. That's a really, really tough one. Chad, if you could real quickly on Seclan's question here, can you guys vote on this defensive question? Would you guys start the Vikings defense versus the Browns? You know what? I'm going to take the Vikings because I don't know that I feel like this. Yeah, I don't think this QB situation is going to feel real good this week in Cleveland. I'm going to go Vikings. I changed my mind on that. Guys, Vikings, right? Vikings. Gabriel can't see over the offensive line. I know there's some people that think Gabriel is going to be good. He's looked good in practice at times. Go Vikings, bro. I think Gabriel's going to throw 2 or 3 interceptions. Vikings are such monsters. On the pass rush is amazing. Cardinals are good play though, but I'm definitely going to go against Dylan Gabriel. So start the Vikings. Mahomes, Bucky, Hendy, London, Garrett Wilson, Fannin, Benson, Tet, bench DeMarcado, Sean Tucker, Lamb, Coleman, Tootin, Gordon, London on a bye. Lamb, Benson, Bucky. Moves, hold. Take the L this week. I'm going to probably hold, bro. Your team's really good. I don't want you panicking. You can't trade Bucky low. That'd be a mistake. You can't trade London because he's on a bye. Garrett Wilson. Yeah, everyone's going to take an L. Like, the thing is, you can move these players, but you'll move into a player that just has a bye week downstream. I would say stand strong with this squad, bro. It's a good, Jesse, appreciate the $20 hauler. It's a good team. London and Lamb and Bucky once he returns, and it's not a long-term injury. Hendy's going to get on his horse. Garrett Wilson's fantastic. Mahomes is unbelievable. I love the squad. I'm not moving things just because of bye weeks, bro. Everyone's going to get hit with the buys. It's eventually going to happen. You might surprise yourself, too. This might be the week where, like, you have the guys just step up at the right time. Like, you put in whichever running back goes in there this week. Or let's say Hendy has his big game. You know, Garrett Wilson explodes. Ted McMillan bounces back big time. Like, just, you might be surprised. Like, the weirdest things happen, bro, in those situations. Congrats on the good team, though. ETN or QJ for Henry and JMO. Give me Henry and JMO. I'd take Henry and JMO. I like taking gambles like that. They're very low cost, high upside. McCaffrey for Henry and London or Lamb and Hampton. I'd take either one of those. I probably prefer to have the Lamb and Hampton for McCaffrey, I think. But I love both of those trades. I'd do either one of them. But Lamb one probably, if you can weather through it, the Lamb one. Traded Matt Golden for JMO. I'm fine with that. I think JMO's a great buy low right now. Traded Jamar Chase and Waddle for JT. That's fine. No, that's not too much. That's great. That's a great trade, bro. Fantastic job. Gibbs, Kyron, Harvey, Marks. What 3 running backs to start? Gibbs, Kyron, and Marks right now, bro. Until further notice. I mean, that's the crew. Marks is getting volume. 2-2 Mahomes, Genti. Got offered Bowers for Brees and Marks. I would rather have Brees Hall and Marks right now, Marquez. I like Bowers, but he's still obviously hampered, and he's wearing the brace, and team's not using him right. And there's just a lot of you have 2 weapons, and each one has good trade value. You could almost go get like a potential Jalen Warren with one of the players. Or, I'm sorry, Tyler Warren. Hey, Smitty, made crazy trades this weekend. I traded Benson and Jordan Mason. Now I need running backs. PPR 1 and 3. CMC, Hendy, Jettas, Nico, Debo, Worthy, benches, Rice. Well, I mean, your obvious move here, bro, is trading CMC. going and getting a Henry or a Hampton or a Judkins with a London or JSN type player. That's going to be my move, Daniel. You're not going to ever hear me say otherwise. Trade Christian McCaffrey, maybe the highest, as the was Oscar said, probably the most disappointing non-sell high mistake people will make maybe in the history of fantasy sports, at least the last 10 years. Would you drop any of these four Sharps, Tootin, Pacheco, Gordon for either of these three? I would drop Pacheco for Brashard Smith if he's on this list as well. And I'd drop Pacheco maybe for... Actually, I guess Pacheco for DeMarcado or Carter. We just don't know which one of the Cardinal running backs is going to start, bro. We just have no idea. And I don't think I'm just scooping both of them up. We don't even know if it'll be a rotation. It could be a three-headed monster there. Or I don't even want to call it a monster. It's just a three-headed mess. Just got offered BTJ and ETN from my Debo and Woody. I'd rather have... Man. I love Woody, bro. But part of me is like ETN and BTJ. Chat, ETN and BTJ or Woody and Debo? Woody and Debo or ETN BTJ? Please vote on this one. He's 3-1 as well. Damn, bro. That is a tough one. Roland says, okay, well, Smitty ain't reading my super chat, so I'll ask the chat. Roland, I'm going through them as fast as I can. So relax, my boy. I am trying to get to it as fast as I can. I can't help that there's a lot of super chats on screen. Vote on this one, guys. Woody and Debo. Woody and Debo, ETN. Roland, I'll get to it. Just relax. I'll get to it. Thank you. We're getting a Woody and Debo vote here. I kind of agree. I don't know. ETN's playing so good, though. ETN, bro. I don't know. It's so tough. You know what? I slightly lean ETN side. Final answer. But it's so close. Obviously, it's fine either way. Neighbors gone 1-3. 12-team PPR. Trade Warren, Garrett Wilson for Adams and Mason. I assume that's Jalen Warren. You didn't make that clear. Give me Garrett Wilson by a hair. But I love Mason. That's an interesting side. Adams and Mason. Mahomes, ETN, Hendy, Sharps. You could use the running back, though. Adams. Yeah, I'd probably go Garrett Wilson. I don't know. Chad, is Mason enough to say let me take Adams over Garrett Wilson? I do worry about the injury. Steve says, remember when box score Bobby a few weeks ago said asking if Geno was the starter? Bro, it doesn't matter, though, because he said that they hadn't decided on the starter. It wasn't a matter of we liked Geno, Steve. No one here liked Geno Smith. But it was funny that he acted like they didn't bring him in to be their starter. He's their clear starter. That was the debate. It wasn't about whether Geno was good. I'm going to say Garrett Wilson. As much as I want to say, Mason's good. I like Mason, but I just don't think I'm trading Garrett Wilson right now. All right, East Coast, appreciate you, Taddy. Must start 2 QB PPR. Caleb and Fields and Jones. Probably going to be Jones and Fields for me. Caleb any week could do well or do bad. Running back CMC Genty. Trade to upgrade a QB. Maybe. I mean, if you could trade, let's say, I don't trade Lamb, London, or Garrett, though. Or Rice. I'd trade BTJ. I would trade RJ Harvey or Sharps. I'd go to the Walker owner and dangle Sharps over their head. But BTJ and Caleb for an upgraded quarterback. BTJ and Daniel Jones, or BTJ and Fields for an upgraded quarterback. Sure, Mahomes. I don't know that it's going to be that easy to upgrade a QB in a 2 QB league, though, trading BTJ away. I just don't know if people are going to be doing that. But I would try Mahomes. Mahomes is probably the best option you have. Past that, it's like, who are you going to go after? No one's trading to Josh Allen. You could go Lamar. Lamar being banged up. See if somebody wants BTJ for a banged up Lamar, and then you give him his choice or whatever. You could also, in a must 2 QB, give up 2 of them because you'll keep one of them. So you keep Fields. You trade Daniel Jones and Caleb and BTJ for Lamar or Mahomes. East Coast Tatty. That's the only thing that I can think of there for you. Struggles at wide receiver. Changes this week. Hurts. H.N., Judkins, Bowers, ETN, Mason. I love Woody, bro. If you could get Woody, I think Woody's got tons of value, and I like Addison a lot. I'm okay trading like Woody and Sutton for like one wide receiver, JSN type of player. Woody and Sutton can maybe get you Adams. Go after Adams, bro. Love my team now, but don't see any move. You see any moves to make? QB, Knicks, Fields, Puka, London, Pickens, Waddle, McBride, Gibbs, Hampton, Hall. Love the squad. Kamara and Pickens for one player. Kamara and Waddle for one player. Byron, use those 2 guys. Go after just a big name wide receiver or running back or Derrick Henry type. 3-1. Team is JD5, Fields, Bucky, Kyron, Hendy, Benson, DeMarcado. Any suggestions? And should I drop Sean Tucker for Gainwell, even though Gainwell's... I would probably rather have Gainwell than Tucker, but as long as you're okay not having to, if you're needing to start Sean Tucker this week, which I don't know that you are needing to, Kyron, Hendy, you don't have to. Your team's good. CD, Debo, Worthy, Rice. I like the team a lot. Rice and Debo are potentially expendable if you were to try and, let's say, move. You could move Bucky and a Addison or Bucky and a Debo right now for a slight running back upgrade that is safer and deemed ready to go, like an HN. That's certainly something you could consider. At 3-1, you could also wait on Bucky. It's not a big deal for you. So I probably would do that in general. And I think your team looks really, really good. CD, you can wait on your 3-1. Bucky, you can wait on your 3-1. I think you're just a candidate to hang tight. Unless you can trade Worthy, Addison with a Benson or a Hendy right now. Or Kyron and Addison for just a running back upgrade. Bucky for Henry and something, or Kyron for Henry and something. Do a 2 for 2 and upgrade a wide receiver in that downgrade at running back. Fannin, Gordon, Carter, Tucker, Mahalo, Smitty. Thank you, pal. I'm gonna say Fannin if you need a tight end, and if not, Carter and Tucker. It's hard to say which one, bro. Carter seems to be the guy everybody wants, so maybe he's got good trade value. So maybe you pick up Carter. I guess. Team QB, JD5, running backs, Gibbs, Genty, ETN, Harvey, Hendy, wide receivers, Buka, London. Like the team a lot. Would you rather have ETN or Henry? Might try and get him for ETN. ETN's safer right now, but yeah, I'd probably say ETN by a hair. But I still really like getting Henry, and I wouldn't mind trading like... ETN and for Henry and something, or ETN and Henry to upgrade Kraft into Tyler Warren, or ETN and Henry to upgrade Worthy into a JSN or safer player, or London into a little bit higher wide receiver. I don't mind doing the trade. You just need to get something else in addition. Chief, appreciate you. You think Sutton and Pollard for CD is fair? I don't. I'd rather have CD. So yeah, do it though. Also Debo for Rice. I'd rather have Rice, but that's fair. It's understandable. I like that. I know you love this young guys, but I have to trade one of Woody Judkins or DJ Moore for James Cook, Gainwell, and Downs. I have Gibbs also as my running back 1. Trade of my Woody Judkins and DJ Moore for Cook. You're not really making sense here, Dre. I know you love this young guys, but have a trade of my Woody Judkins and DJ Moore for Cook. Okay. I'd take James Cook probably over that. Yeah. James Cook. I like that. All right. Good trade. Traded my Kraft and Mims for his Hunter Henry and Shakir. I'd rather have Kraft personally, but it's fine, bro. It's really damn close. 2-2 guy I'm playing this week want my Fields for Woody. We're 50 on points. I have Daniels, but my gut is Fields will go off. Then trust your gut though, bro. I'd rather have Woody than Fields, but I do get you don't want to put all your faith in Daniel Jones, and I do like Fields a lot, but I personally would take Woody. I think Woody's a fantastic player to have right now on your roster. Jay with the $20 super chat. Jay, appreciate you, my guy.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Jay to the moon was Smitty. That was Tyler Warren in my super chat earlier. What moves can I make? Jay, hold on. I wish you put it in the super chat because then I got to go out of everything to go find it. So if you guys ever if something ever has to be restated, just re-ask the question in the super chat if you can. It makes it so much easier because then it's almost impossible to either find it. All right, I think I got it right here. Thank you for the $20 super chat, my boy. So it was trade Tyler Warren. Yeah, and also clarify that. You guys keep saying Warren or Williams. There's so many Williams and Warren players. We have to have that clarification. Trade Tyler Warren and Garrett Wilson for Adams and Mason. Then absolutely not. I lean toward Garrett Wilson alone. And then what moves can you make with the team? I would say with this squad, Mahomes, ETN, Hendy, Sharps, Buka, Garrett Wilson, Golden, Tyler Warren as your tight end. I don't know that you could maybe trade. There's not much to move, bro. If you were to move, let's say ETN for Henry and something, I'm down for that. I don't know that that's the easiest move to make. It depends on what the Henry owner thinks of Henry, but I do like Henry and something for ETN. I think it's going to be easy for you to maybe dangle Sharps over the Walker owner's head to try and upgrade. But the thing is, you don't have a lot to upgrade other than Hendy and ETN. Like Mahomes, I'm not touching that. Buka, I'm not touching that. Garrett Wilson, I'd upgrade Garrett Wilson to like JJ or higher, but I'd also try and get Rice somehow, Sharps, and go to the Rice owner, see what they have. What if you traded ETN and I don't know. It's so tough, bro. Go to the Rice owner, see what you can get in terms of like an ETN for Rice and a running back type of move, but it'd have to be the right combination. Go to the Walker owner, see what Sharps can get you. Maybe Sharps and Golden, or you just don't have a lot of firepower at all. Would I traded Buka down to like an Adams to get an additional upgrade from, let's say, ETN to a safer, bigger running back that you think will be there all year? Maybe. But Jay, there's not a lot to move. You're almost on a stand. There's just not a lot. You have like 4 really good guys, and then you have just nothing that's tradable outside of that. I don't mean that in a negative way. It just, there's not a lot you can do with that team, unfortunately. Okay. Hey, boss, 10-team PPR. Thank you for the $20 hauler, my boy. Can you rank these players, please? One, I only have one free roster spot. Pacheco, Tootin, Carter, Washington, Kendre Miller. I'm going to say Tootin because of the long-term value. Probably Carter after that because of the potential upside of right now in this moment. Start Scat Brees or Javonte rest of season. For me, I'm going to go Brees Hall, but that could change. I don't think I want to lock that in for the year because of all the fluctuation of stuff. Sean Tucker or Isaiah Davis. I would go Sean Tucker. Would I do offer for Rice, Keenan Allen, and Scattaboo? Who would I offer for Rice? Keenan Allen and Scattaboo or Judkins? Thanks. Definitely don't trade Judkins. I would definitely give Keenan Allen and Scattaboo. But I think I'd rather have Judkins. Rice and Judkins are pretty close, but so I guess, yeah, but I'd rather have Judkins because he's playing right now. Thank you for the super chat. Trade CMC, Nakua, and May for JSN, Gibbs, and Josh Allen. Woo! So I'd rather have Gibbs over CMC. I'd rather have Nakua over JSN. And I'd rather have Josh. So give me the Gibbs side. But damn, that was a tough one to figure at first. Did Chase for CD straight up? I'd rather have CD by a country mile. Thoughts? Traded Debo and ETN for Hampton. I think that's probably too much. I think Debo and ETN is worth more. Guy in my league needs QB. Want to propose my Penix Jr. and Ridley for his CD. I would take CeeDee Lamb in a heartbeat. Debo, Slayton, Addison, Diggs. What two wide receivers to start? Debo and Addison for me. Not close. MHJ, DeMarcado, Debo, or Pickens for London and Rice. MHJ, DeMarcado, Debo, or Pickens. So let's just say it's Pickens. MHJ and Pickens for London and Rice. Give me London and Rice. Easy call. A secured Judkins and Tet for Jamar and Benson. Thank you. I like it, bro. Not everybody will, but I like it. Bowers, Hendy, Tootin for Kraft, Javonte, and Devontae Smith. Bowers, Hendy, Tootin for Kraft, Devontae Smith. I take the Bowers side. Arguable, though. A lot of these things are arguable, guys. 0-4, trade Bucky and JMO for Judkins and Tet and Judy. At 0-4, and you got to wait on Bucky. I do get this situation. 0-4, trade Bucky and JMO for Judkins and Tet and Judy. Man, I guess I take Judkins and Tet. You kind of have to, unfortunately. I love Bucky, though. It's so tough, but you're 0-4. Last super chat, I meant to say start one running back, bro. So, Clan, I got to put it aside. You got to include it in the original this message because then I got to go back and try and search it and get out of everything that I have with my screen. So it's like I gotta wait it right here, Clan. So I'm sorry, guys. If you send another super chat, it can't just say, "Oh, go check the other one out." Like, please state the question in the super chat itself. It's a lot easier. It just makes it, you can have a longer wait because then I got to go search for it and get out of every screen that I'm in. 0-4, trade Bucky, JMO for Judkins, Tet, and Judy. Bucky and JMO for Judkins. Oh, I just did that one. Yeah. Smash. Rice, Barkley, Sutton, or JSN and Genty. Wow. I guess JSN and Genty, because you're waiting on Rice. You've got Barkley not playing well. But at the same time, like, bro, I mean, if Barkley bounces back, which he could, the Rice-Barkley side will crush soon. But Genty, JSN's better for the now and maybe as good for the future. You got to kind of pick your poison there. Chat, would you rather have Rice and Barkley or in Sutton or JSN Genty? Because you got Sutton also on that side of the fence, though, I don't know. Maybe I take the Barkley, Rice, Sutton side. I think I do. And that's crazy for me because I love Genty and JSN. You know, that's a wild one. 3-1, just traded Henry for CD. You're the best. I love both sides. I'm not going to lie. But I'd rather have CeeDee Lamb for the long term. But you got to be able to weather through that. what do you think of Rashard Smith? We like him a lot. He's on the waiver wire board. He's a midseason monster for a reason. We just need him to get more work. Juwan Johnson and QJ for JSN. JSN by a mile. 4-0. Kyron Williams, Waddle for Bijan. Thanks. I would take, I don't know what Williams that is, bro. Oh, Kyron Williams, sorry. Kyron Williams and Waddle for, I thought it was Kyron Williams and Waddle. So it's Kyron Williams. Kyron Williams and Waddle for Bijan. I'd take Bijan. Not even close. Look, it's not close at all. Not close at all, bro. May, Bill, Michael Carter for Brees. Who wins? Brees. Pick one to keep. 14-team league. Mooney, Burden, Slayton, Downs, Tyreek Thornton. Tyquan Thornton. I think probably Burden, I suppose, in a keeper format. But that's close, bro. That's real close. Gary, appreciate you with the super chat. 202, half PPR. Warren, any ideas? Probably going to say with this squad, you're trying to get rid of Jamar Chase. Worthy's playing great. McConkey, trust in him later. I'm not saying he's great now, but Achane, JT's playing out of their mind. I'd maybe consider trading like Jamar Chase for Lamb. Give up a little bit something if you can. Man, go to the try and get JSN for Jamar straight up. Try and get Adams in something. Try and trade Jamar Chase for Henry and a receiver like JMO. That's probably what I would do, bro. And then you could even flip one of the running backs after that. But I think Henry's tradable. Sometimes you got to go around in order to get to the trade that actually helps you win. So a Jamar for Henry and something might be the way to go. That's a tough call, though. Appreciate you. 0-4. Help me out. Knicks, Fields, Lamb, Kyron, Hendy, ETN. Okay, Woody Marks. Lamb chops, you're 0-4. You might have to move lamb chops, bro. You might have to go get a JSN and something. You might have to go get a Derrick Henry and a wide receiver. Try Derrick Henry. Try Garrett Wilson. Try Devontae Adams and a running back for Lamb. Try Devontae Adams and maybe Woody Marks. Or sorry, try Lamb and Woody for Devontae and something. Lamb and Woody for Henry and something. I throw Evans into some deals to get it done just because, you know, he's going to be out for a little while longer. Should I drop Troy Franklin, add Coker? Nah, I don't think so. And add Bond to replace Troy. I'm fine with that. I like Bond. I definitely add Bond, but best ball format offered Hampton for CMC and Scat. You need to trade CMC. You need to get more than Hampton. It needs to be Hampton and a JSN. That's what Christian McCaffrey can get you right now. Anybody trading CMC and not getting 2 pots of gold isn't listening to the assignment. So you got to get more. Wide receivers are St. Brown, Jackson, Smith, and Jigba, Puka, Pickens, JMO. Okay. Trade George Pickens for Judkins in a millisecond, my boy. Millisecond. AJ Brown owner switch up, shaking my head, pivot, and offer Evans +1 for Waddle. That's okay. Evans for McConkey and Fab. I guess. These aren't great, though. Addison plus Fab. I kind of like that more than AJB, yeah. I'd take McConkey and Fab, or probably more so Addison and Fab. Addison's pretty good. Evans for Devontae Smith if AJB gets traded. I don't think he's going to get traded. But no, I'm not. I'm interested in the Addison one, I suppose. But those aren't amazing trades, to be honest. Any suggestion? I have May, Nico, Pickens, Hampton, Judkins, McBride, Addison. Got offered Ladd, Swift for Judkins. I would not take that. Judkins is worth way more than that. I think maybe you could trade Mason and Pickens, or Mason and potentially Addison for like one player. I love Adams right now. I love Henry right now. I love getting a potential. Judkins is very, very cheap. Right now, you've got him already, though. But for anybody else in that scenario, love Judkins right now. Adunze maybe for that. Pickens and Addison. Swift. Or no, you don't have Swift. Mason and Pickens for Rice or Lamb or Adams. Like Buka. Thank you, my boy. Appreciate you. Traded away Josh Jacobs, Worthy, and Fannin for Judkins. I don't know, bro. Quentin Johnson and Hunter Henry. I like Quentin Johnson and Judkins versus Jacobs and Worthy. It might be pretty close. I might lean toward Jacobs and Worthy by a hair, but that's tough. That's tough. Do you guys like, what side do you guys like on that one? Jarvis, appreciate you. I have London, Ibuka, Debo, Rice, BTJ, Kyler Murray. I asked about Lamb and Bo Nix for JSN and Charbonnet. Running backs, Genty, Kyron, Brees, Tootin. Lamb and Bo Nix for JSN and Charbonnet. I'd rather have Lamb and Bo Nix in a vacuum, but yeah, I don't know. That's tough. Either way could win. I mean, JSN for Lamb, if you need the win, I understand that. And then having Lamb over JSN, you can afford to lose 1 or 2 games, then I like that. As far as like other trades to make, I'd probably say that I'm standing down for the most part because I like the fact that you've got, unless I'm taking Brees and BTJ and turning it into a monster, you could go Brees and BTJ for Henry and another player and make a 2-for-2 work for you. Was offered Bowers for Hampton. I would rather have Hampton over Bowers, bro. I got Mahomes. Okay, yeah, no, I would much rather have Hampton over Bowers right now. It's a no on that. Smith Dog 10-man team is May. Bench is okay. I'm running. Any suggestions? I'm thinking of waiting. So your team looks good. Bucky, ETN, Adunze, Buka. I don't think I'm moving QJ if I can. I'm waiting on Lamb. I like getting Rice right now. QJ and something for Rice. Ferguson's easily tradable. Rashad White's got some value right now, but only to the person that doesn't own that owns Bucky, who you own. I would say Adunze, I'm holding ETN. I would entertain trading Bucky, but I think you can hold and wait. Your team looks really good. Lamar will be back. I'm pretty much just hanging tough with this team, bro. I'd be very, very tempted to move Kittle. I'd be very tempted to, even if you could keep Ferguson and move Kittle, or move Ferguson and keep Kittle and then just pick up somebody for a week or 2 or whatever. But I would definitely trade QJ and Kittle for one player. I'm going after Rice. I'm going after Garrett Wilson. I'm going after JSN type players. Trade Brees and Cup for Rice and Golden. I'm going to take probably Rice and Golden if I can weather through it. So Clan, hang tight. I'm going to get to that message. I got to get through these first. Hey, Smitty, I can get Henry for Debo or Pickens. I'd probably rather trade Debo. I go back and forth on that. I think someone even asked me Pickens or Debo, and I think I answered differently. I'm wavering on that one. That one's so tough. I love Pickens right now. Debo's got a little more injury risk, and he's got the heel thing right now. So I guess I would say give me Henry over Debo, and I take that in a second. Traded Chase and Fergie for CD and Bowers. I love that. Fantastic, bro. Josh Allen, Nico Pickens, Genty, Monty. Any moves? How about you trade Rice, Pickens, Josh Allen, Nico, Genty, Monty and Sutton for one monster. Monty and Sutton for Henry and something. Swift and Sutton for Henry straight up. Great beginnings. I have Scatterboo and Charbonnet. Would you drop them for Judkins and Marks? Yes, I would. or maybe drop one of them for Marks. No, like, first of all, the beginnings, like, Judkins is a top 8 running back, bro. He shouldn't even be on your waiver. Like, this is for your own good. The fact that you haven't picked him up off my advice, off this channel's advice, off of the waiver wire content for the last 2 weeks is a take a lap moment. The fact that you're contemplating not picking up Judkins right now is a take a lap moment. But take a victory lap after you pick him up, because you're going to be heading to the championship. But yes, pick up both Judkins and Marks and do it now. You are the man. I'm sorry I sent you on so many laps. I know that was upsetting to you because you'd said something nice about me, and then I go ahead and make you run. But running's good for you, bro. And Seclan, I got your message right here. Seclan, you still here? Seclan, appreciate you. Hey, Smitty, start 2 non-PPR Mason. For my last super, I meant to say start 1 running back, bro. Sorry. Okay, so start 1 running back, Mason, Carter, DeMarcado, Sean. So if this is Seclan in this one, you got Seclan, you still here? You got to go Mason. Look, his matchups for the next handful of weeks, as people have said, are not the greatest, but he's still getting volume. We don't know what Tucker's going to get. We don't know what Pacheco's going to get. We don't know what Mercado's going to get. We don't know what Carter's going to get. Jordan Mason at least is being fed. Seclan, you still there? So that's an easy call for me at the end of the day. I know, Denny, you were trying to reach me, Denny. You can call in now if you're still watching, Denny. I appreciate you, Denny. My boy Denny was trying to dial in, but I just had to get through those super chats. I didn't want to leave anybody hanging. People have been waiting too long for him. I'm sorry. Thank you for all the super chats. Brian says Michael Carter to the moon. Of course you're saying that, Brian, because you own him. I'm just going to tell you right now, be careful of what you listen to, because a DeMarcado owner is going to say DeMarcado to the moon. A Michael Carter owner who couldn't get DeMarcado, who would pick up DeMarcado if you dropped him in a second, Brian would race to pick up DeMarcado, but Brian's going to say Michael Carter to the moon. Like, anybody that got a new running back is going to be kind of excited about that running back. It is what it is. Drop my McLaurin for Golden. No. Or Monty for Bill. No, Drew. I just saved your life. Absolutely not. On either count. 0% chance I want you doing either one of those. A lot of news today, gentlemen. A lot of news today. A lot of bad news. Some good news. Bucky, not long-term injury. That's good news. Did my boy Seclan stay for the... Where's Seclan at? I don't think Seclan's even here. Seclan, where you at, bro? Okay, $20 hauler from Eddie. Eddie, appreciate you.
Alert. Super chat.
Eddie to the moon. Eddie, thank you. 12 team, 2 running back, 2 wide receiver, 2 flex. I traded Lamb for Neighbors last week. Sucks, man. Now I sent Marks for BTJ. Thoughts? I think Marks could be either one of those, bro. I mean, I love both Marks and BTJ. BTJ's not playing well. Marks is playing amazing. And his coach says he's going to give him more work than he can handle. He wants to put more work on his plate, see how much work he can put on his plate. So, I mean, that's kind of like a little bit of a risky move if you say, because Marks is going to probably be the safer bet. So, yeah, I Addison and Hall for a monster. You know, I wonder if you traded Addison and Hall for Henry and something, what that something could be. Would I trade Achane for Henry and something in your situation? You might have to make a move, bro. Your team looks good, though. Hurts, Achane, Hall, BTJ, Rice. It could, in McBride, it could deliver. It still could play well. Addison could step up and in the absence of Rice, and BTJ could rebound. I don't mind this team, but I also don't mind Achane for Henry and a player. You get an Adams somehow, you get a player that you shouldn't get in addition to Henry. It's a good move to look at. Dolphins aren't immune to having a disaster or their team fall apart. Thank you for the 20.
Alert. Super.
But if you don't do that trade, then Ian, appreciate you with your super chat, my boy. Eddie, thank you for the 20. Rest of season, Breece Hall or Achane? I'm going to go Achane. Also, is it time to bail on Travis Hunter? No, because it could take till week 10 or 12. I don't know why people are ready to bail on players after 4 weeks of football. I'm thinking of pairing Breece and Hunter for Achane. I'm fine with that. Bailing on him is different than making a good trade. Just Travis Hunter, like, he could do nothing till week 10. QB Allen, running back Hall, Gibbs, Debo, Keenan Allen, London. Laporta struggling at my extra spot. Any ideas? Hall, Gibbs, Allen, Debo. I mean, I don't think I want to trade any of that, bro. So my answer is I don't have any good ideas because it would require trading one of these players that I love. Unless you were to move London for, like, let's say Adams and Judkins, you know, like, of course I would do that. Or if I could trade Gibbs for Henry and JSN, you know, I would contemplate that, I suppose. Or Hall for Henry, and then you're able to maybe do a 2-for-2 and trade Keenan Allen in for an Adams or something. Like, then I could trade that. Past that, probably just stand down. There's not a lot of movability with that squad unless you want to trade those big guns like that. So it's either stand down or make some wild Henry and something for your Gibbs trade, which you'd have to get like a JSN. That'd have to be something magnificent alongside a Henry or whatever. Or a Gibbs for Judkins and JSN. That'd be something magnificent to go from Gibbs to Judkins or from Gibbs to Henry. 12 team, 2 flex, 3-1. Any moves to make? No. Not unless you're moving Keenan Allen and Rachaad White, or Keenan Allen and Debo together for one player. Keenan Allen for BTJ, Keenan Allen and Kelsey for Adams because someone's selling low. Keenan Allen for BTJ, Keenan Allen and Franklin, or Keenan Allen and Kelsey, or Keenan Allen and Rachaad White for BTJ. Yeah, I don't want to trade unless you do what I just said. You trade. I wouldn't trade Bijan, but if you traded, let's say, Gibbs for a Henry and JSN, or a Judkins and JSN, or a Hampton and JSN, or a Nico and Hampton, or a Nico and Judkins, like, I don't even know that I like that, to be honest. I'm just saying that's the only move I could tell you, hey, this is okay. Or Bucky, let's say you traded Bucky for Rice and Woody Marks or something, you know, like Lamb and Woody Marks or something around that territory. But even that, I don't know that you need to trade any of that because your running backs and quarterback are so strong, bro. Like, you could weather through it. Non-PPR, Lamar, Jamar, CMC team wants a trade. Moves 4-0. My team, Bijan, Judkins, Monty, JC, and Puka, Egbuka. Well, I'm not in the business of trading for CMC, so you're asking the wrong guy. I don't want CMC. In order to get him, you'd have to give up some of this amazing talent, and I don't want you trading for a player I think could get injured at some point very soon. So for me, I'm standing down on this team. I'm maybe trading Monty and Pickens for one bigger player, Monty and Debo for one bigger player, Monty and Keenan Allen for Adams, Monty and Keenan Allen for Henry, Dobbins and Pickens and Keenan for Henry, like something like that. I think we got one more super chat here from ADHD. He says Egbuka, K9, and Aoman are for AJB, Godwin, and JMO. Buka, K9. I'd trade K9, but I'm not trading Buka. The K9 Buka side by a mile, bro. But trade K9, you know, but not K9 for Adams, K9 for Henry, something and K9 for Henry, but don't trade Buka, bro. That would be a bad trade. Thank you, Eyes. Appreciate you. You're the best, bro. Slim says, I'm going to hit rewind. You better, pal. Check out that news portion of the show for sure. Drop Love, Penix, Bo, Fields for Carter or Sean Tucker. I mean, you got a lot of QBs there, Rock Out. I would... Fields is probably your guy right now. I think Bo and Penix and Love, they're all really even. I would try and trade one to a QB needy team right now. But I don't know. I don't really think I like Sean Tucker, I suppose. DeMarcado, Carter. They're all really close. I probably lean Sean Tucker slightly based on the way I feel about the player. You know, the situation, I don't know, but lost neighbors, but added Carter, DeMarcado, Tucker, plus White. Also grabbed Slayton. Team is Fields, Walker, Genty, Collins, JSN. It's good. It's a good. I'm still trying to trade Walker. Walker and Sutton, Walker and Evans for one monster. Walker for Henry and something. Walker and Sutton for Henry and Adams type player. Upgrade Sutton slightly by downgrading into Henry, because I'm sure some people would rather have Walker. And if not, I'd give up Walker and something small for Henry anyway. Stoney, appreciate your super chat, my boy. $20 hauler. My man Stoney coming in strong.
Super chat alert.
Thank you, my boy. 10-team PPR redraft. Allen, Kamara, JT, Egbuka, JJ Waller, Monty, Aubrey. Picking up May over Dart, I agree. Smitty approves. Against Seattle defense, or do I bench Egbuka for MHJ? Why are we even considering benching Buka, Stoney? No. You know I love you, pal. You don't sit Egbuka. You don't ever sit Egbuka. It's not even in the vocabulary. As far as this team goes, I love it. It's a good team. I'm potentially trying to move Monty and MHJ for one player. Go get Henry. Go get Rice or a Lamb type player. But I don't understand where some of this, and Stoney, you know you're my boy Blue. Don't get mad at me for sending you on a lap. But I just don't understand where some of this Egbuka, like I'm going to sit him mentality comes from. I don't understand it, especially from our crew, from our people that drafted him, started him from week one. I don't even get it. I don't understand it. I don't get where it even comes from. How is that derived from anything from this channel? I don't know. Jeb.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Derrick Henry, Michael Pittman, or Genty, Ricky Pearsall. Genty, Ricky Pearsall. I do love going and getting Henry on the cheap, but Genty's worth more. Which side would you rather have for the rest of the season? 4-0. Genty. Thank you, Jeb. Appreciate you. It's easy call, but I do love acquiring Henry at a cheap price. Taking a league mate, talking to a league mate, they will consider a trade. I need a running back. She has Jacobs. Javonte Williams, Walker is available. I have Nico, Buka, and Sutton. What is the best offer? Well, I think Sutton and Jacobs will probably be the best move. I think they're very even. I don't really trust Walker long term, and I don't really know if I trust Javonte long term either, even though I like what he's doing. So I'm going to say the only thing I want here would be a Sutton-Jacobs swap. And it's very even. I think Sutton's playing really, really good football. So I think that is a solid swap. So that would be my answer. But thank you for the super chat, and I wouldn't make the other trades, though. Taking a lap, fine. It's just tough, D. It doesn't matter what it is. Also, probably getting Hunter Henry for Taekwon 2. Do I start Hunter Henry over Waller this week? Probably. Hunter Henry's been pretty consistent, and Drake May loves him. But Waller might become the touchdown get. I mean, look what Jonnu Smith did. You know, the fact that we're talking about Tua targeting a tight end. And sorry about the typos, no problem. Thank you, Shelly. Appreciate you. You're talking about a quarterback that did this last year. Like, Jonnu Smith was good, but he played kind of out of his mind. You know, and you wonder how much of it was just Tua relying on a safety mechanism, a safety net, just boom, boom, boom. And now it's like Waller gets 2 touchdowns. You just wonder if he's going to use Waller. I would lean toward Hunter Henry, though. But yeah, Stoney, and it doesn't even, like, Stoney, even if Igbokwe is a bad game, he's the start. He's the bona fide go-to, no question about it. There's no debating whether you put Igbokwe in your lineup. He's a top 5 to 7 wide receiver. You don't have enough wide receivers to move him out of your lineup. You can't, unless you had St. Brown, Puka, and JJ. Could you be asking the question, hey, I can only start 3, Buka, JJ, St. Brown, and Puka? Like, you can't. Otherwise, Buka's in the top 5, like, conversation. And you start looking at schedules, you're going to be. That's the person that's sitting there going, I hate fantasy. I have Buka on my bench. That person looks at schedule too greatly. Too much weight on the schedule is bad medicine, my boy. Who do I give up for Lamb and Knicks? I have Dart, Gibbs, Scat, Amari, Hendy, Harvey, Tootin, Rice, London, Buka, J-Mo. I don't know, bro. Obviously, Scat and maybe, you know, could Scat and J-Mo get him? Probably not. You try. Would I trade London for Lamb? No. Would I trade Buka for Lamb? No. Would I trade Rice for Lamb? No. So you can't. The only thing you could do is J-Mo, Ricky, maybe Bowers for Lamb. Sure. So J-Mo, Ricky, and Scat, not giving up Gibbs. I'd give up Hendy or Harvey with that. Sharps with that, Toot with that. So you're talking about J-Mo, Ricky, and Scat, or you got to go Bowers and Ricky for Lamb and something or something along those lines. Those are the only way you could do it. There's no way you're giving up those other players. You can't. It's just not a player you can acquire then. Rank Waddle, Olave, AJ Brown, love long time. I'm going to go probably Waddle, AJ Brown, Olave. But AJ Brown's certainly capable of being, you know, the number 1 there, but they just don't throw to him. Got a trade offer, my K9 and Collins for Cook and AJB. I would take, geez, man. I guess I would take, chat, vote on this. Nico and K9 or Cook and AJB. That's such a tough one, rock out, because, I mean, Cook is the best player in the deal right now, but that could change going forward. I mean, it's possible that Nico is the best player in the deal, and then if you believe in the running back, I don't know. That's a tough one. Vote on that. Nico side, K9 side, and K9 and Nico side's getting some more votes right now. Cook side, Nico side, AJB Cook. Rock out. It's a complete split, man. I think it's pretty even. I think because K9's got question marks, it makes it hard. You know, AJB's got question marks. It's like an equal question mark and equal stud on each side. It's there's no real answer, man. I mean, I'm going to waiver up until the moment I do it, and I waiver even after. I think you probably take Cook because he's been playing so well. But Cook side by a hair. But that could change too. But Smitty, I'd flip AJB if I had that side. Smitty 10 team PPR 1 and 3. Josh Allen, Brees, Chase Brown, Hendy, JCM Tootin, Pacheco, A.O. Manor, Ridley, Evans. Bowers lost Malik Neighbors. That sucks. I'm sorry to hear that. Thank you for the 20, by the way.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Fantastic drop, my man. Appreciate you. So I'd probably say with this squad, you've been hit hard. You've been hit hard. Everything down to Evans' injury, Ladd, Neighbors, Joe Burrow, then how that affected Chase Brown, Trey Henderson being started off slow. I mean, you've been hit hard, man. But your team's still very good, lots of upside. I would be very tempted to say, you know what? I like Derrick Henry on this team. You know, I wonder if you could do Chase Brown for Henry straight up. If not, I wonder if you could do a Chase Brown and a potential Mike Evans for Henry in something small or whatever. Or just throw Mike Evans in and see if you can get the deal done and just get that bigger potential monster. I'm not saying he's a lock, but it's something to entertain. Bowers, you could trade Bowers, but is now the right time? Probably not. I mean, if you had Josh Allen and Derrick Henry was balling and Brees is balling and Ladd bounces back a little bit later, and let's say you kept Evans and you're able to trade off a player like, I don't know. I think you got to wait to trade Bowers, though. I would say Derrick Henry's your best option here, using Chase Brown and something. If not, then you're probably waiting. You could probably trade Brees Hall for Henry and something. You get a receiver, you know, trade Brees Hall and let's call it A.O. Manor or Evans for Henry, and you get him to throw in a wide receiver that's just a little bit better. BTJ, you know, struggling, or maybe a MHJ struggling, or maybe it's an Addison, or maybe they give you go to the Adams owner. See if you can get Adams using. Go to the ETN owner. See what Tootin and Chase Brown could get you an upgrade from Chase Brown. Go to the Tootin owner. See if Mike Evans you can get a player playing right now, like JMO for Mike Evans, if you're giving Tootin to that owner, or try Mike Evans for JMO straight up. JMO's a great buy low for you. Henry's a great buy low for you. And Adams is a great buy low for you. I wish I had better news for you. There's just not a lot to move. That's a puzzle, bro. It's a puzzle piece. There's not a lot of puzzle pieces to move around. Pretty split on the deal, but Cook is on fire. I agree. I think Cook is probably the smartest side. And then if you can trade AJB and flip him, go get, you know, JMO and something, go get Adams, then all of a sudden you got kind of a nice little move there, bro. Trade BTJ for Chase. I would rather have Jamar Chase than BTJ, but I'm not saying I'm excited about Jamar Chase. It's really, really tough. Trade Cam Scatterboo and Tet McMillan for Rashee Rice. I'd take Rashee Rice. Should I trade Ladd for Chase Brown? Also, yeah, you take a chance on Chase Brown, bro. Kyron and Hubbard or Hampton and Judkins. Hampton and Judkins. Do I do Dynasty content during the season? Yes, John, I'll do some. There'll be some Dynasty content here shortly. I do need to get on that. We'll talk about a handful of things. Talk about rookie running backs for 2026 already. I'll do a video on that really, really soon. Love looks fantastic. He's such a good running back. He's the #1 running back prospect in football right now. Love will be good. And I'm not backing off rookie. If I believe a rookie's going to be good, I'm going to predict him to be good. Nothing scares me. I'm not a worried William. The slow start for RBs this year doesn't scare me off from predicting big things from Love or any of the incoming rookies for 2026. Just know that. Know that I'm not a scared Scotty, and I don't care what anybody says. I do what I want and I speak how I speak, and I'm going to predict what I predict. Nothing's going to change the way I operate. Got offered Chase Brown. It doesn't mean I'm going to just go all in on all the rookies. It's going to be rookie by rookie, specific situation by specific situation. Bowers and Dobbins and Caleb for Penix and King Henry. Probably lean King Henry, I suppose. I mean, Bowers is struggling too, but I think you're not buying him low though. I'd rather you buy King Henry's lower, but trade Fields and Mason and Tyler Warren for Mahomes, Tootin, and Kelsey. I would take Mahomes, Tootin, Kelsey over Tyler Warren, Fields, Mason. I think I love Mahomes. Mahomes is he's a top 3 fantasy quarterback. He's playing out of his mind, and doesn't have Rice there. Got offered Chase Brown for Sharps. Accept it. I would take Chase Brown over Sharps. Yes. I wish I was more excited to say yes to that, but I don't know. It's crazy. The times we live in, it's crazy. It's crazy. I will say there's not going to be as many rookie running backs this year just by default. There's just not. It doesn't matter. I don't love rookies. I love certain players. And this year's rookie running back class was insanely good. They're just not being used the way we want right away, some of them. Harvey or Tootin, Harvey, but I like both of them, bro. Sharps or Jordan Mason. Jordan Mason by default, but if this is a long play, I'll say Charbonnet. If you need the work now, you got to rule with the guy that's, out there. No problem, bro. Chase Brown and Mike Evans for Judkins and Golden. Ricky Turbo, appreciate you, my boy. 4-0. Can this team win it, Smitty? 14 team. Regular format. Lamar, Barkley, Bucky, Woody. Woody's going to step up in the nick of time, bro. Debo, Keenan, Pickens. Yeah, it could. I mean, would I trade? Yeah. I don't know what you can trade. Woody and Pickens for one player, maybe? I don't know. You might be able to do that. You might have to wait a week, though. But Woody and Pickens for Woody and Pickens for... You kind of need a receiver, so it's like Lamb or Rice, man. Trade Zay for Brees. Already have Puka, Johnston, and Terry. Trade Zay for Brees. Yeah, Zay Flowers. Brees Hall, my boy. Yes, sir. Oh. Your boy is so tired. We got to come back at midnight Eastern, so we will be out of here. Thank you all for the super chats. Appreciate you. Thank you for the gifted memberships. New Age Outlaw gifted 20 memberships at the beginning of the show. Fantastic. Appreciate him. The man, the myth, the legend. The man known as New Age Outlaw. And Christian with the super chat here. My MHJ and Skytaboo for Brees Hall. I'd probably take Henry. Yeah, you said or Henry. I go Henry, then Brees Hall in that order. But I'd very much like to get Henry on the squad, bro. And then would you drop Pacheco to roster Smith? I probably would, but it's a close call, no doubt about it. I'll see you all at midnight Eastern. Thank you all. Don't forget to get on over to my Patreon. I'll go over there just right now. It's $10 a month, cancel anytime. Live chat group, 24/7, 365. Live chat environment. Smash that link. The link is in the description. The link is in the live chat. The link is in the description of every video. Here's the link. I'm going to pin it right now. Don't forget also to get on over to Underdog using code Smitty. Play $5, get 100. That link is right here. That link is in the description of every video as well as just dropped in the live chat. And code Smitty gets it done as well. So appreciate you all. Silver Rapture, appreciate you, bro. I'll see you all at midnight Eastern because we go live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern every single Monday through Friday. That's this show. We also go live whenever big news breaks, and I go live at midnight Eastern almost every single night. This is a 3-hour and 9-minute show. Nobody does it like this channel. See you all about midnight Eastern, but I'll see you all on the Patreon. Again, that link is in the description right now. It's in the live chat pin, $10 a month, 24/7 live chat group. I'm going over there right now to chat with you all. See you all on the Patreon. Swavey, I like the Judkins Tet side. Nice work. All right, see you all. Shelly, thank you. DeBalt, Bare Bones, Swavey, appreciate you. With all due respect, see you later. Cap, see you later. Thank you, Travis, Blackbeard, Space, Ricky, Sick Nasty, DeBalt, Vampy, all my mods. See you on the Patreon. And then see you at midnight.